Yeah, I'm not worried about that, man. Kemetian, Kemetian, this conversation here between you and Nikki, you got it. Yeah, but you know, I can't get along with Darwin at all. Maybe I sit down and listen to it.
Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough. Oh, you didn't know? This environment tough.
Yeah, no. I don't. I think my oldest son maybe got on the bus, not the other two. No, my son lives in Washington D.C.
True Mahafa, AGS Damari. Y'all know what time it is. Place your bets. Source off the shitter. Mahafa Villain Dome. Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test? Stepper with a cane and top had to match. A Lord of Vice, supreme ruler, that's right in his act. Double or nothing, 2 for 1. That's how I'm coming. Do the math and do the knowledge. I'm March 100. And I stay reppin' that 5. Who wanna see me live? Got a murder man vibe. Bodies in my archives. When I up my source, just up the score cause it's a rap. And I be that more. You don't remember he was cap called blabber lacking in his babble. Ran down on him. The real driller from Manila. I stood over homie. I took his feds. He was fake and he was false flag. And I'm here to rep that right way. And I'ma keep spazzing. Behind my people I stand on business. Yeah, I'm crashing out. And if you cross my golden path, yeah, I'm flashing out. Got a bucket list of future bodies in my inventory. My peer reviews are undisputed. You can keep the glory. Every appeal to authorities just to cry for help. And intellectual cowards, they die 1,000 deaths. Who really want it with me? I stay war ready. Round for round, got 100 slides. Who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, lead the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me?
Yeah, y'all hear that? Now we getting ready to hear this second verse. Open up your ears. All right, Judah Nazareth, you ain't fucking with this right here. I know you come with beats. Apostle, all of y'all, this is one of the #1 top songs right here, y'all. Kemetian the Deaf. Open up your ears and listen to the second verse.
Father green light, I'ma whack 'em all. It's time to clean up the platform and tax 'em all. Know it like you owe it, the elder sent me for it. Retaliation is a must and that canopus bogus. It's pseudo killer be killed when I'm in the battlefield. They say steel sharpen steel, my real isn't real. Yeah, this that simmer talk and I'm ready to drill. Train to go and fully equipped to break that that Roman seal. Grinding the powder and get power to the masses. If it's smoke, then it's smoke, I'ma get axed. Tell them come with it. Done did it, we split it, they can all get it. I got 7 deadly venoms, been sick with it. I can behead them in public and still get acquitted. I put in work on house niggas and tell them I hit them. I'm that runaway slave they wanna capture. I took the whip from his hand and punished master. He's just another widow son of a bastard. I wage war on infidels and call them Kafirs. If sa.neter give me that card in your chapter. Knowledge is power, test mine, and I'ma smash it. Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me? Debate Coliseum, you pseudo sideline. Yeah, I got plenty motion. You blind, leading the blind. I'm in the HOK, sourced up and ready. I got the drop on every op. Yeah, who wanna test me?
Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop talking when I'm putting my sound effects on. I'm saying oh for a reason. You see that young champion, the future champ in the building, god damn it. He ain't afraid to pop up in this mud, huh? He ain't afraid. Y'all playing yourself. That's right. Yeah, what you talk that talk. The man didn't ask you nothing about what's important. He's asking you, he's challenging you to do so. Okay, he ain't asking y'all, is it important? Y'all was talking that bungo shit. The man popped up. He's challenging y'all.
Yeah. Y'all already know Kemetian Adept is in the building. The HOK champ is here. What's going on, beloved? What's happening? Unmute
all
yourself.
Is well. All is well, brother. Can you hear me good?
I hear you, man. I hear you. I had I had to just let Uncle them go, and I let them know that I've been running from Kemetian Adept for years. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Well, you know we ready, man. We want all the smoke.
Judah has been running for years.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they like to put on a show and make it look like they want the smoke, and then when it come down to getting it in, they ain't nowhere to be found. We know how they go.
Judah Naz, Apostle Saquon,
anybody,
all of y'all been running. Smash. I got the champ in the building tonight, man. What's up? If you want it after this presentation, Judah Naz, hit the goddamn link. Apostle, hit the link.
Anybody
this
can get
champion it for a reason. Go ahead. I pass you the mic, Kemetian.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all that fake beefing that they've been trying to demonstrate when I was trying to be cordial with them. Yeah, ain't no more of that right there, bro.
Ain't no more of that. Smoke now. Smoke.
And they used to try to take advantage. Yeah, they used to try to take. Yeah, they used to try to take advantage of the kindness. So, they don't know I used to be on the front line, so going back and forth with Hebrews 30 years ago.
That's right.
Going back and forth with Christians, New Wabians, all that. So I didn't just start this with YouTube. You see what I'm saying? But now it just done got a little worse because everything that I say I can show and prove. Ain't nothing Kemetian get up here and speak about that he ain't gonna be able to show you some background with some source. Now, whether you accept that, that's on you. I ain't here to convince you. I'm just here to put the information out here. Ism. Go ahead.
Judah Nazareth is calling you out.
Huh?
He said, Judah Nazareth is calling you out. He says, House of Consciousness, ask Kemetian Adept if he will debate me on the degrees and the science. On
what degree?
On
Judah. He see every time he go to talk about degrees, he go to talk about Western Freemasonry. He don't understand. I ain't no Mason. So you ain't gonna debate you on the subject that I'm not affiliated with. What degrees are you talking about? You can't debate the Adept degrees of Morris sign because you ain't been in the Adept chamber. So what are you talking about? Tell him to make it plain, and I'll go there. But I ain't gonna debate him on
don't be saying no scared tactics. Hey, so what we gonna deal with today, brother?
I ain't gonna debate him on no straw man argument.
Yeah, what we gonna talk about today?
You want to get into this right here? Yeah, he can address this here if he want to come. Oh man, you see the subject title, sir? This
I know.
Right here is very controversial, so to speak. So, yes, sir. Our subject title is the ancient Kemetic attestation of Kaballah, Adept science or pseudo science fiction. And you can see in the title, I'm addressing, individuals before we even get started.
Go ahead.
What is a Kemetic attestation? Attestation means evidence.
That's
it
right.
Means evidence or proof.
That's right.
So in other words, I'm going to prove to you that this is Kemetic root. That's one aspect.
Bring it out.
My question I asked, because
bring it out.
I know it's adept science. So we're going to prove that it's adept science as opposed to pseudo-science fiction. Because we know we're going to have those who say, pseudo, oh, he did, and all that foolishness. But you got to come up in here with some sources.
There you go.
Got to come with sources.
Because whenever Kemetian comes, he always bring his source with him. So make sure you know that.
That's right. So this is powerful, sir. And I dedicate this to some of our ancestors. I want to dedicate it to our family. Rahu Nefer Amen, who wrote sa.neter. I want to dedicate it to our brother Mu'ata Ashby, because these brothers have been called pseudo by some of these young dummies that have come up that have no knowledge of what these elders was demonstrating. You see, I pay, and my brother Kaballah, right. I give honors to them, Professor James Small. I'm giving them flowers while they still here.
There you go.
Because a lot of our people like to go in opposition to these brothers and have no knowledge. So we're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rise upon the seven. Got to do that within the unbroken circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give praises to the great God and the ancestors that demonstrate through me, that have given me the opportunity to open up the way, as per M. Heru. I'm the book. You see what I'm saying? Of coming forth by day. You the book, sir. We the book. And that's what this going to be demonstrating. So I want to give honors to you and honors to your platform, the House of Consciousness. Like we said, you know what I mean? They sitting on the sideline demonstrating that foo-foo.
Got to rise upon the seven. That's right. Got to rise, baby.
That's something we all connect with. If we don't acknowledge none there, we all are one with the seven. So what I'm going to do, without further ado and delay, I'm finna share my screen so we can get it in. And just give me 1 second here. I want to make sure that I have it here. Got my right. Let's see here. Okay, I'm looking for the specific PowerPoint. Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to pull it up, family. Okay, there it is. Right. Let's see. Okay, right there. Okay, there we go there.
Elder Yara, when this presentation is over, you don't want this smoke over here, brother. You better keep it moving. This is Kemetian Adept, the HOK champ tonight. So, Black Sage, this ain't kitten talk tonight. This is not for the kittens tonight, man.
That's right. Yes, sir. If this don't involve you or concern you, stay out of it.
There you go. There you go. Just
put yourself in it. I ain't ducking no call out.
Let them know, champ. Let them know. Let them know.
Yes, sir. That's how it's gonna be from here on out.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know why this thing is taking.
We tried to come to you respectfully, man, but y'all kept on with that bunko shit and talking like y'all about something, like y'all know something. So now got to bring the champ out. That's it.
Poking the bear.
That's it. Now the bear's up. Bear woke up now.
Oh yeah, we up. And ain't no time. Come on now. It's just loading up, so real quick. I'm just trying to get it. I don't know why it's taking so long. Maybe I got too much light off in that demonstration. It's loading up right now. Come on, man. Okay, it's getting a little quicker now. Yeah, because we don't want no mishaps in this thing. But like I said, we got a grand drawing. And this right here, it's going to upset a lot of people, sir. Because can't nobody get away from this.
Goddamn, upset them. If the truth
everybody that thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody that thought they were safe you know, and you know, they slate was clean.
That's
You
right.
got another thing for you. Ain't nobody getting away.
Possum thought he was
He
safe.
was without sin. Let him cast the first stone. It's almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we loading up. And for the people, I want to say this to you atheists out there. This don't really concern me. But if you jump out here in this water, you know, I ain't got no mercy.
You're gonna drown. That's all. You're gonna drown.
You know, this ain't got nothing to do with you. If you know you don't honor nothing that's being said, don't even come up in here talking without no sources. We don't want to hear the fact that you don't believe in what you don't believe. I don't care nothing for that right there. I want to see some sources or shut your beak. All right. And then also for those of our people who are super religious, this ain't for the weak. You see what I'm saying? It ain't for the weak. Here we go. It's almost there, just a fraction.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once the thing come through, we finna open it up and all hell breaking loose. In a good way for
Hit
some,
that like
bad
button,
way
y'all.
for
Hit the
others.
like button for me.
Those of you who've been asking the questions of this connection, you finna get the information. Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right now.
Hit that like button, y'all.
Okay. Let's do this here. Come on. Okay, here. Okay. So I do it this way right here. I guess they want me to open it up manually then. I can do that too. Okay, so what we gonna do, export, hit that again, and it'll let me go right in there, and then I can open this thing up as it is. Okay, is that it right there? Yeah, that's it. No. Okay. I really don't know. Okay. Why is this thing not giving me the option? Okay.
You shared your screen before. You know how to do it, right?
Yeah. What it is, I'm trying to open up this
file
document.
Yeah,
I'm opening the file up first before I share the screen. I'm just trying to open it up real quick. That way, when I share my screen, it's already there. Why does it keep trying to? I done already published it. What are they doing? Yeah, it said it already exists. Okay. So I'm trying to open it up in PDF format. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way then, because it must already be here in this area here. Just give me a second, family.
While we waiting on them, y'all hit that
so
like
many
button.
files in this thing. Yeah, I got debate. I got debates in here that I was supposed to debate. That's in here.
That's probably what it is. It's too unloaded, probably.
Come on. Yeah. I got it up here, but it's in my raw form, and I want to have it to where I can expand it. You know what I mean? Like I want to when I start demonstrating. That way I ain't moving stuff around. And so it's here. Okay, I know what I need to do. That's what the problem is. It was supposed to be opening up the file after the publishing, but it didn't open it up after the publishing. Okay.
Okay, while you get that ready.
What I do,
While you get that ready, I'm gonna let Apostle talk for a minute. See what he got.
Go ahead.
All right, Apostle, you can talk while he get ready.
Say what?
You can talk while he get ready, but I'm gonna just tell you, if this ain't got nothing to do with you, be light on your feet, brother. That's all we saying.
If it ain't got me, what's all the hostility about, man? I'm here to watch your show.
There's no hostility. We coming with
love. I'm hearing, man.
Nah,
I'm hearing all this and that. I'm just interested in seeing what he got to produce.
Nah,
I ain't got no problem with
you got no problem with you. Long as you step in, brother.
Man, let me say what I gotta say without being interrupted, brother.
Okay, long as you step in.
Don't interrupt me. You know, I'm sure Kemetian don't need no bystanders, no pocket wolves. You know, he don't need that. He don't need your help. I'm sitting back here waiting to see what he got. I ain't made no enemy of this brother. What's all this hostility about? 70 years old, and I stand with the best of them. Y'all take me for what I am because I don't look 70 years old. Y'all think I'm 50, 40. No, I'm old enough to be y'all daddies. Show respect. I mean, all this hostility like I've been whooping with you or something. What's all that about? I don't know nothing about this presentation, man. I'm just here to learn. If you got something to teach, teach it.
You know anything about the Kaballah, Apostle?
I don't read the Kaballah. I've never read the Kaballah. It's not written by my people, so I don't have nothing to do with it.
Do the Kaballah got anything to do with Judaism? Jewish?
It has to do with white boy Judaism. It has to do with that that white boy stuff.
I spoke to your wife last night, so I'm gonna chill on you. I'm not gonna bring up your blood pressure.
I mean, with Ashkenazi, they wrote that shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's the same thing on the myth.
Yeah, I promised your wife that I would not bring your blood pressure up. So I'm
no, brother. You got some beef with me. You can express your beef.
No, I don't.
Don't try to create something. Just
y'all
don't want me to raise up. Raise up like the best of them.
Yeah.
48, almost 50 years at this.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, you know, shit. Come on, man. You got a presentation, commission, bring it, man. Damn, I'm interested. I want to hear it. But when all this hostility, I get a block, man. I can't receive what you got to say.
There's no hostility, brother. Why you keep saying hostility?
That's what it sounds like, man. You got Judah Madden in there talking about Apple. Apple been dead for years. Why is he talking about Apple?
Stand down, good brother. Stand down, good brother.
Stand down.
With all due respect. Yes, sir. With all due respect, I'm ready.
Yeah, he said with all due respect, stand down. Ain't no hostility over here.
I didn't come up in here for
right, look at the bus. He might be ready.
Y'all brought me up in here.
Right.
You tell me to stand down there.
Apostle.
I control you.
What you got to say, brother?
I control you.
Shalom.
I control you, Apostle.
Huh?
I control you.
How the hell you gonna control me? You can't control yourself.
I control you, Apostle.
No, you don't. No, you don't, brother. That's a sad thought, man. You even think about something like that.
I control your thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
I control your mood. I control you, brother.
Yeah.
Understand that. I'm the God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I control your emotions.
You better off cursing God like you used to do. You stop doing that.
I don't do that no more, man.
You claiming to be God. I go back down and so no.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. I'm not going to curse it.
Yeah. You better check yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going to curse the it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an atheist, brother.
Yeah.
Not an atheist.
Just get to know him. That's all. Know him for who he is. Christ said, know me. They know my voice.
Well, I don't know who Christ is. I don't know nothing about that.
Do not follow.
All right, Si, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, brother. As soon as you ready,
I'm ready, brother. Yeah, I'm ready right now.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just come with the raw presentation. What it is shut me out of the Microsoft, but it's cool.
You know what? Can you send it to me? Can you send the email to me and I can open it up?
Yeah.
Try to send it to my email. Email it to me and then I can slide it and you can tell me when to keep going.
I do it. But what I'm saying is that I can get into it. It's nothing wrong with me getting into it. It's just I'm gonna just do it as it is. I couldn't put it in the PDF form. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna be still be able to share it and show it?
Yeah, but I got it. So I'm gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finna share it right now. It's just in edit. It ain't no big deal. It's just in edit mode. That's all. I'm gonna just what I do later on.
Let me let Asar Mkar know real quick. I see it. Hold on. Asar Mkar, you are scheduled, my brother. We got you right here. I think you bit off more than you could chew, Asar Mkar. We got you right here going up against Kassad. And I just hope you don't take this brother lightly. He knows his Bible. He knows the history. So, Asar Mkar, I hope you don't take this brother lightly, man. All right? Minds explode when two worlds collide. El versus Yahweh. Who is the supreme deity of the Bible? And did God change its mind? Oh, man.
we
did right there.
We got a little hampering on the title though. The title is a little off. Remember the title is were there two gods, El and Yah. So we got the titles a little hampered, but
okay, I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it by tomorrow. It'll be done. But anyway, let me let y'all brothers go. I got the champ up in here, and whoever wants whoever want the belt, come get it. Simple as that. He ain't running for nobody.
There's no dates on that, man. What's the date?
The date is on the video. When you go to YouTube, you'll see it. The date is all locked in. All right, Kemetian, you up? You up and running, brother. Your presentation is up, Kemetian.
All right. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm clear too, so my vocals coming through clear.
Yes, sir. You're coming through clear, brother.
Okay, let me know if they go to dragging or lagging then. Okay. Well, all right. We're going to start this demonstration off. And as you already know, we are coming forth from, the works of the Egyptian Adept Research sa.neter session, which I'm a portion of, and I want to start first by going into disconnection and misconnections, because this is a problem that we have. And I want to give honors to one of my professors, Dr. Kemetian, who was teaching at the Palace of Saudi Arabia. I studied 10 years under this man, and I'm pulling forth from some of the concepts of 5D thinking. And I'm applying this to us. It's something good for us, but disconnection and misconnections, and I want to address this right here because this is a part of the model of 5D thinking, because that's what you're going to need in order to comprehend what I'm bringing forth. What is the disconnection and misconnection? Modern society grapples with numerous crises, social, moral, and existential, right? Existential, pardon self. And these crises stem from profound disconnections. We witness the disconnection of the self from its sustainer, creation from the creator, body from the soul, this world from the hereafter, meaning from matter, humanity from the cosmos. We compound the disconnection problem by forming misconnections with nature. So it's one thing to disconnect, but another thing to have a misconnection. And the misconnection is more concerned with connecting to things that are inappropriate. So you disconnect from what is appropriate to misconnect to what is inappropriate. Okay, so misconnection with nature, material causes, chance, the ego. You see, we form misconnections. We connect and we identify with those things that are really suitable only to the ego. The dominant materialistic world view limited to 4 dimensions. 3 of space, 1 of time, right? Fosters these disconnections. This perspective shapes more secular and Islamic curriculums. Secular curriculums discuss creation without the creator, while Islamic curriculums often highlight the creator but neglect creation. So we see a problem on both sides. Yeah, even when it comes to dealing with our religious belief system. You got those who say they're religious, they don't believe in science. You got those who say they're scientific, They don't believe in religion. And we were watching the ones on the panel talk too earlier. So it's good for me to come with this. The 5D thinking model offers a holistic response to try to bring y'all together, the ones who want to be one anyway. The 5D thinking model offers a holistic response to the problem of separation, promoting a worldview to heal these rifts by reconnecting everything to the Creator. So if your mind is hell bent on division, then you're going to have a problem with this. Whether you come from the religious side or the scientific side, you're going to find something wrong with it because you got what we call in the Moorish teachings a demarcated thought pattern. Look up what demarcation means. It guides us into the fifth dimension where we perceive the divine power, wisdom behind everything. That's what 5D thinking does. We can see the wisdom of the Creator behind creation. You don't have to call him the Creator if you're a scientist. Call it the unknown known if you want to. But it's something behind this creation that make us something. But anyway, the universe becomes an elegant book. The universe becomes a book. The universe is the science book. Above the scientific book and the average religious book that most people are looking at. See, we taking y'all to another level. Y'all ain't never thought like this. So the universe becomes an elegant book. And science is the study of divine signs within the book. Is not the observation of the universe where science is founded? Is not the observation of creation is where science is founded within it? But anyway, the model reconnects itself to the sustainer as Abid, our worshiper, so to speak, in the religious context now. Creation to the Creator as Makhluk, as it relates to science. And we call these revelations or signs, our ayats in the cosmic book. Notice that we are making the book of creation or the universe a cosmic sign that we can actually observe scientifically. Observation to come up with those things that we are able to have a concrete meaning by observing creation. As we read the book of the universe, under the light of the Quran, for example, we discover signs in the ayat of Allah and develop sound character. That's if we're looking at it the way, but some people think that the only book they can read is the physical Quran. What about the Quran of creation? What about the Quran of the universe? What about the Torah of creation? What about the Torah of the universe? See, we leading up to something. Saul already know where we going. So anyway, 5D thinking. The model offers the following distinctive features. We go in here because when we go into what we go into, we don't need no extra question. To those who come after the fact, then we'll leave them guessing and they can come back and look at the video. First, it will eliminate any explicit or implicit assertions or assertions that causes nature or chance or the true sources of observed phenomena by removing the blindfold of learned ignorance, because some of our people are eloquent in their own ignorance. They have mastered a subject matter being ignorant of everything outside of what they know. And so what they think they know, they're going to base upon what they learn, and in their learned ignorance, under that blindfold of ignorance, because they don't want to see nothing outside of that, there's a blindfold over the eyes of the religious people. There's a blindfold over the eyes of the scientific community. Both of them. Ain't none of them getting away. When I cut with the scimitar, I cut even. From the secular perspective, learners can marvel at God's extraordinary and dynamic creative acts. That's the first point. Second, the model of 5D thinking uses an analogy, analogical reasoning to make subjects understandable and relatable. So you're going to be able to understand something and be able to relate what I'm saying. This approach is rooted in the belief that the heart is the ultimate repository of validated knowledge. Through analogy, the heart can verify and accept new knowledge with certainty. There's plenty of scientific theories and hypotheses that people have accepted, but yet they're waiting on them to be debunked. So if the scientists can do this, then the person that believes spiritually can do the same thing. They got a right to believe too. If you know you're gonna be debunked, well, at least the people that's in the religious context, they stuff ain't gonna change. You know, it's gonna stay the same. But everybody gotta be thinkers. So it goes on, it says, through analogy, the heart can verify and accept new knowledge with certainty. Third, it fosters critical thinking through questioning, helping and learners sift through false choices, arriving at the correct answer through reasoning. Critical thinking, that's another aspect of it. You see? Then we have fourth, it reassures learners that the correct choice is evidence-based and verifiable. And that's why we said attestation, attested, this ancient Kemetic attestation, you see, of the Kaballah. We're going to show you this is evidence-based and verifiable. This ain't me just talking. This dimension allows them to understand why God must be the sole creator of the observed phenomena as well. You ain't got to call it that. You can call it the controlling unknown, like I said before. You know, but whatever you call it, we know it's something behind this observed phenomena, you know, that creation came into being. Whether you accept pangenesis theory, whether you accept the theory of panspermia, directed panspermia, or intelligent design, whatever you accept, we know it's something that directed the cause. I don't care what you call it or what you think it is. We just want to put that out there. So fifth, in 5D thinking, five-dimensional thinking, it helps learners recognize the infinite value of observed phenomena and appreciate the importance of this gift for them and other beings in the universe. It also guides them to derive moral and character lessons from scientific topics. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to give you the ability to receive guidance so you can derive moral and character lessons from these scientific methods that we're going to demonstrate. So we're going to prove that this is not pseudoscience fiction, but this is adept science. Adept simply means to be skilled, to be proficient in a thing, to be learned in a thing. We know everything about everything outside ourselves and don't know nothing about the self. Dumbfounded when it comes to knowing how you made. That's why the first question in the Moorish Holy Quran, we say, who made you? You see what I'm saying? Because once you can answer that question, you can answer everything else. So it says this model paves a path for students to know God profoundly, personally, and meaningfully. Students are encouraged to engage with the world in a way that continually uncovers God's creative acts. As the Quran mentions, they are guided to correlate these divine acts with his sacred names. This connection deepens their understanding and appreciation of God, making every discovery a step towards uncovering the divine names and attributes. This is all about what we call sebagatila, immersing ourselves in the divine names and the divine attributes of the Creator. There are 99 of them mentioned in the Quran, even though that ain't all of them. But in ancient Kemet, there were attributes. There were principles of nature. You see, there were powers behind the creation, empowering the creation. And this is how creation came into being. There was a cosmological model that was brought forth by the ancient Kemetians, the Kemetian. And we're going to prove to you that this is where the concept of the tree of life came from. And this is also the concept of where the Kaballah in relation to that tree of life came from. Now we want to address two individual mindsets on the way into this subject matter as we unpack. There's one thought pattern of that which is known as a monomaniac. A monomaniac is defined as a person exhibiting exaggerated or obsessive enthusiasm for or preoccupation with one thing. Self-obsessed monomaniac, meaning they don't care nothing about nothing but what they stand on. If it's science, I don't want to hear what you say religiously. If it's religiously, I don't want to hear what you say scientific. If it's Hebrew, I don't want to hear what you saying as a Moor. If it's a Moor, I don't want to hear what you saying as a Christian. If it's a Christian, I don't want to hear what you saying as a Muslim. A Muslim, if you know, and we can go on and on and on. So this is a monomaniac thought pattern that none of your teachers, none of your prophets or so-called masterminds and gurus ever taught you. That's something you choose to put in your doctrine. So a monomaniac is somebody that can't see the tree beyond the forest. Characterized by an exaggerated obsessive enthusiasm for or preoccupation with one thing. He rails against monomaniac passions. So these monomaniac passions that our people have, they got to stop it. You got to stop thinking that what you have and what you know is the end all and be all. I don't come from that type of perspective. That's why you see me bringing forth a cohesion and a unity. I'm bridging the gaps is what I'm doing. But if you want to bang and I'm here bridging the gap, then come. And you're going to lay where you play. So here's another one, sophomania. This is the other thought pattern of sophomania. It is a delusion of having superior intelligence. In other words, thinking that basically, because you know what you know and don't nobody else know it, then this makes you superior and you don't got to say. That can be from a religious standpoint, that can be from a scientific standpoint, or these various schools of thought that our people done got caught up in. So we're addressing this mindset, and I will tell you who are in the audience, pay attention, because you will see the sophomaniac enter this panel. You will see the monomaniac enter this panel if they don't comprehend what it is that I'm bringing forth here. Or they're just looking for a reason to beef. And like I said, if they want that, then we're going to give them the smoke. So what we want to do is go on into our presentation now. You know, and this improper expression is what we call the ancient Kemetic sa.neter. For those who are familiar with sa.neter, they understand this to be the company of the gods, or even the company of the nine. A shed is a term that most people may not be familiar with, but Kemetically, a shed actually means tree of life. So in other words, it will be ancient Kemetic tree of life of the company of nine gods. We done already laid the foundation of the premise right there. That's it. But wait till we get into the essence of it. And notice it says Kaballah, Kaballah, Kaballah. These are three various states and stations which we will go into in a minute. And if you look here, you know, because I didn't put this artwork up here just to be cute. This is from our brother Muata Ashby, giving the expression of the Neteru as it relates to the cosmic universe and creation. All of you who are Kemetically inclined know what these things are. So we ain't got to go and break these things down here because we're going to do a lot of breaking things down as we go through the measure. But we do want to show you these things because these were principles. We call them in modern time gods and goddesses, but the ancestors don't know nothing about gods and goddesses in the term that we use. They were known as the Neteru and the Netert. This is the proper expression. These represented divine powers, cosmic energy, divine attributes in action. Did these attributes personify in humans? Yes, they did. So in this case, we can say that the Neter were very real because the principles, you know, of these particular cosmic expressions could personify in the human. Just like love, for example. Love can personify itself in somebody that's a human being if they feel with love. And you can say, man, due to the character that, man, that person right there, man, that man got a lot of love in him. You see, and it's the same with truth, peace, freedom, justice. We can personify these principles, and some of us do. Some of us have a characteristics, and they can be good or bad. But principles express themselves. It can be a nasty disposition. If you got it, people can see it even when you don't see it. They see you most plainly. They can see that you like the starred stuff. They can see that you like division. They can see that you like separation. They can see you like divide and conquer. You see, so we're saying principles have the propensity to personify themselves into people. So this would make these principles live. Outside of me being a man and a woman being a woman, We can say the word love, but we don't comprehend love until we see a man and a woman come together. We don't comprehend love until we see people come together in unity. Unity is not even concrete reality until people come together in unity. So this is how we have to look at these principles. You see that we are speaking of, and we say that they are very real. Unity is fake if you can't come together. You can be one organization or one group, and y'all can be divided within each other. And it's fake love, fake unity, until you personify what's real. So there's a expression of coffins here. You see the goddess on the coffin here. And then you see the sun above her head, you know, as she's holding it up, you know, and we've seen the expression of Nut as often being an expression of the universe. But beside this goddess on these coffins, you see principles. Let's count them: 2, 4, 6, 8. You see? And we can say this is her base, this is foundation. So this would represent 9 to a certain degree. This is the source above her head. So keep that in mind. 9 emanating from her. These are netures, different netures too. You know, emanating symbolically from this universe. Now you have the expression of the God-man, and there's a jet pillar being depicted here. Both of these actually represent trees. The jet pillar represented a tree, just as the cosmic universe represents a tree. And that's where we go into our Kemetic breakdown. The first expression, as we spoke of the cosmic universe and the goddess, she was symbolic to what is known as the Nehet. The Nehet is the sacred tree. And we will go into greater detail throughout this measure, but we got a lot to unpack, so we want to go through it, but also make it comprehensive. So this is a symbol of the Nehet. We're going to tell you exactly what type of tree the Nehet is referred to as, but Nehet is also referred to as other trees Kemetically as well. But this is known as the sacred tree, because there's a sacred tree and there's also a cosmic tree. They also have a bridge between them. So let's go into the sacred tree versus the cosmic tree. Okay. So when we get into the aspects of this, we see the sacred tree of life, which is known as the per se tree, versus the cosmic tree, which is the world tree, a tree of the cosmos. Again, hold up. We have the Kemetic name, or Egyptian name, as people would say. This is Shed. And again, this is the per se tree, you know, which is also known as Bak. But then we have the jet tree, which you showed the jet tree earlier, you know, or the offset, you know, the offset tree, you know, which is also connected to the Bimban, or the pillar of the sky. So both of these measures are dealing with a sacred expression in Kemet. One is dealing with, you know, a divine expression as it has to do with the cosmos, and the other so much as well a reflection of that, but one is actually connecting the earth to the heavens, and one is actually expressions of the cosmos or the heavens. Primary function, right? It represents a personal divine destiny, eternal life, spiritual nourishment, and royal legitimation. This is the sacred tree, right? Cosmic tree represents the entire cosmos, the cosmic order. Within that order is Ma'at, and the structure of the universe linking heavens and the earth, and the Amduat, or the Duat. The Duat is also known as the halls of Amenti in certain Kemetic texts. Amenti mean that which is of the underworld. Why do you think they mention the underworld, but then they are showing you the cosmos in a lot of Kemetic texts? Because it is speaking of the underlying principles that cannot be seen with the physical or the carnal eye, but yet they are active. Scientifically, there are certain principles, you know, as far as we can get and close as we can get, you know, quantum physics, you know, you can't see those things with your naked eye unless you get some type of instrument or microscope or whatever the case may be. But yet we know these principles and forces in nature are real. And the neteru and the neter are very real in the same measure. We can say that the ancient Kemetians had their own methodology concerning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Nobody in their right mind would dispute that. So anyway, the realm, individual, and you have the kingdom level linked to the pharaoh's ancestors and soul in the car and the bar and the car. Keep that in mind. Universal level under the cosmic tree maps out the four worlds, the cosmic direction and celestial mechanics. We're going to get into some of that. The key deities, Nut, the sky mother. Some people say Hathor is Het Heru, Offset, Tehuti, Ra, or Sa, but for those who know Hathor, Isis, Thoth, Ra, and Osiris, all is well. As the giver of immortality, these are the key deities. Then you have Ta, which is the architect of the cosmos. Ra Atum, the primeval creator, who is often basically being a part and partial of creation coming into being. Kemetically, we would say what Atum expresses, the atom expresses scientifically, even in going into the idea of the concept of atom being birthed from the concept of the earlier expression of Atum. All you got to do is see that in sound shifting, the letter U is interchangeable with the letter O. So Atum is really atom from a Kemetic standpoint. Then you have the axis of regeneration, Asa, resurrection, Geb, which represents the earth. This is actually where you get a Kaballah from Gibbalan, Kubalan, Kaballah. I'm gonna do a measure on that one too in the future. Nut represents the heavens in the cosmic tree. We have the symbolic role, the tree of eternal life, where the names of the pharaohs and gods are inscribed on its leaves for eternal remembrance. So this is the tree of eternal life. This is Kemetic teaching way before there was a book called Kaballah that was created by Jewish people. Way before a tree of life was spoken of or mentioned by those who call themselves Jewish people. And these were really those who were of Al-Andalus. So they would have been, of a Moorish descent. But that's neither here nor there. It says a world axis, also under the cosmic tree, like the jet pillar supporting the heavens and representing the four cardinal points in cosmic balance. Iconography, depicted with goddesses emerging from the tree branches, pouring water and offering fruit to the king of the deceased. We're going to show you this in a minute. Shown again under the cosmic aspect as a tower and pillar-like tree. Remember the jet pillar, sometimes merging with the jet pillar, symbolizing the stability of the cosmos. The jet pillar is referred to also as the backbone of Asa. Anybody Kemetically inclined will tell you this. And we have the Eshet tree, the tree of life, often near what they would call cartouches. We call them shinu, which means circles. This is for the people that think we don't know and we're using Greek terminology. That's why we're giving you both sides. But they represented what we call the fruit or the ba of the soul, the shinu. When you deal with the trees, on the trees of life, there were names of the kings and the gods inscribed upon the trees of the life Kemetically. And the fruit as well. It says jet. Again, this is the cosmic tree, the Bimban stone, celestial stars intertwined with serpent and bird motifs. Then you have the spiritual path, personal immortality and ascension, the soul's integration with divine order. Universal ascent, cosmic renewal, the return to the primordial source. So all of this is doing with returning back to the creator who expressed creation through the principles of creation. Kabbalistic parallel, which they would call the Etzkam, tree of life. It represents individual spiritual growth and divine emanation through the Sephiroth. And the Sephiroth are known as the 10 circles that you would often see. This is what makes up, the expression of tree of life. Then you have the world tree again, dealing with the cosmos, which is known as the axis mundi as well. The axis mundi actually represents the axis around which everything pivots. That's what axis mundi is. It's the point in the middle of a circle, so to speak. It's the 7 in the middle of the quadratic circle that you would see in the symbol of the circle 7. The 7 is the axis mundi in more science, to give you examples so that you can visualize. So it represents the structure of the entire universe, similar to the Norse, or the Yggdrasil, or the Hindu, or the Ashavada tree. So every particular nation has their tree of life. And I would take this as a means of consensus. Because if there's one in India, if there's one in Kemetic, if there's one in Sumeria, if there's one in many parts of Africa, if everybody has spoken of a tree of life, then everybody can't be lying. So I honor the consensus of all nations who honor a sacred tree that represents cosmology and creation and the principles underlying cosmology. Oh yeah, we making it plain today. You see? So now, as you can see here, we got some artwork up here. You can see, this is the cosmic tree of the universe. This would be more like Indra wheel, or what a lot of people call the world of little animals, the zodiac. And they actually have more than one type of tree here. This is actually an expression of what we call, the sycamore tree. And they also have acacia trees, palm trees. All of these trees have reference to dealing with either cosmology or just in reference to dealing with being a sacred tree. So, where it all began and how it first showed up. The earliest pictures of the tree of life in old Kemetic art writing goes back to the Old Kingdom around 2686 to 2181 BCE. These early images are found in tombs, temple carvings, where you see the tree often with branches full of fruit. Google it and look it up while I'm talking if you don't believe me. Showing plenty in life. For example, in the tomb of Pharaoh Unas, the tree of life is a part of the writings used for burial, showing its role in the trip to afterlife. Think of the tree like a picture showing how life and the nature are connected. These pictures weren't just nice art, but had deep religious and cultural meaning. They stood for food from the nature and the ongoing cycle of life, death, and coming back. Key points about these early pictures include where they are found in tombs and temples, mainly from the Old Kingdom time, what they mean, plenty of life and divine order, why they matter for those who think, well, what is the meaning of this? Or what is this? How is this going to help us? It shows a link between the nature and the eternal life cycle. So what we are doing is giving you a schismatic chart in the form of these trees of life being symbolic, so that you may be able to use them as a map to go within the self to master yourself. That's the purpose of the tree. If you care anything about making yourself better, if you care anything about becoming moralistic, because there are many of those out there who have demonized the tree of life, but yet the tree of life is a primary measure mentioned in your text. For those of you who study the Bible and say the tree of life is devil worship, it's wicked, and all this stuff here, well, then that means that the tree of life that God mentioned in the book of Genesis is wicked. That means the tree of life that's mentioned in the Quran is wicked. That means that the tree of life that's mentioned in all other beliefs are wicked. If just because it's the tree of life, it's wicked. Make it make sense, people. You can't have it both ways. Now, it goes on. How it changed over different dynasties. The way the tree of life looked and what it meant in ancient Egypt changed a lot through the years, reflecting changes in religion and styles during the Old Kingdom, 2686, 2181 BCE. You could see the tree of life mostly in tombs, temples, showing off plenty in divine order. You can see the silhouette of the goddesses right there next to the tree behind this measure that I'm demonstrating. When moving to the Middle Kingdom, 2055 and 1650 BCE, the tree became more about specific neteru, like heteru, often seen as a sycamore tree, giving food to dead people. But in the New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BCE, the tree of life became a big symbol in Kemetic beliefs, showing not just life and plenty, but also the never-ending cycle of death and coming back. Notice how the concept of the tree of life evolved. So we can see this is like science. First, they had one aspect dealing with showing off plenty and divine order. Then they had another dealing with a never-ending cycle of life and death, and it constantly grew throughout certain kingdoms. So this science developed over the time Kemetically. And we're going to show you how it led up into what we have now. In this period, the tree was also drawn in a more fancy and detailed ways, usually together with neteru like Asa and Aset, who are big in stories of coming back to life and afterlife. So these trees had a grand connection between not only the god and the goddess presence, but also the cycle of death, birth, and rebirth. Why is it that we call our families and those who come forth from us our family tree, our genealogical tree? You see what I'm saying? This language is not by chance or a mistake, people. Now, it goes on. Dynasty period, again, key developments in depiction and significance. You know, then we had the Old Kingdom. It showed plenty in divine order, as we just said, seen in tombs and temples. In the Middle Kingdom, it tied with the nature, like, you know, heteru or hetar, seen as giving food to the dead. The New Kingdom, a big symbol in beliefs, again, meant life and death from rebirth, linked with Asa, Osiris, Isis, and Aset, or Asa and Aset, however you want to say it. The late period, shown more formal, uniform, still had a big religious meaning. In the late period of 664, 332 BC, around the time when your Ptolemies, you know, done come in after Alexander the Greek. Y'all know that, you know, in Kemet, you know, 333 was pretty much the fall in the end, so to speak. You know, the last Pharaoh was actually 360, that's 360 degrees of knowledge. But anyway, in the late period, the tree of life still had big religious meaning, but the way it was shown became more formal and uniform. The tree often appeared in a more set and stylized way, mirroring that time art styles, right? Throughout these times, the tree of life stayed a strong symbol of life and death and the nature being connected. For a clear view of these changes, the table below offers a brief summary of the key developments and how the tree of life was shown and what it meant across different Kemetic periods. So, a symbol of immortality and rebirth. In old Kemetic beliefs, the tree of life is a strong sign of never-ending life, coming back to life. Unlike plants that grow and dies each year, it shows, you know, forever the cycle of living, dying, and starting fresh. This symbol is shown clearly in the story of Asa, the neteru of the afterlife, who was brought back to life by his wife Aset after being killed by his brother Sutek or Set. All of these things have metaphysical, deep spiritual meaning. What does the principle Asa represent in the universe? Life. What is life symbolic to? Light. What smothers or covers light? Darkness. This represents the principle Sutek. What aids life to come forth into creation? The womb of the goddess. So it is the light of the truth that pierces the veil of the womb of the goddess, and the seed of life come forth. This is your light being manifested from darkness in the book of Genesis. Connected to all cosmology, they say light came out of darkness. In science, they like to call this Big Bang. Some people do. But look at how many theories they got and how many times they done revised it. Don't you get me started. Drawing off to the show of the tree of life and scenes of Asa coming back to life, showing his never-ending life and the promise of living again for all souls. Sa was the first symbol of death, resurrection, and rebirth. And yes, Sa is real. Kemetian, you done lost your mind. You done went crazy. Didn't I just tell you that these principles personify themselves through human beings? So when Kemet was at its height of civilization, the Per-Ah, the Nisut Bit, the ruler of ancient Kemet, he always represented the God principle on the plane of things made manifest. And when he left the body and ascended into heaven, he became Sa. His seed that ruled under him, his son would be Heru. His God woman would be Set. So technically, every rule of kingship through the line of divine kings of ancient Kemet, there was an Set, there was a Heru, and there was an Sa that personified as principles through that particular rulership. Because Sa, Set, and Heru represent divine stations. So yes, these principles personify in persons real people. We can even bring it into this time. But in our household, the God-man represents Sa, symbolically sunlight. The goddess represents Set, symbolically moonlight. And the son or the seed represents Heru, symbolically starlight. So yes, these principles are real. As it is above, so it is below. Ain't the sun out there? So just as Sa represents a personification of sun, Set expresses moon, Heru represents, star. There's also headdresses that represent this thing. Not that we believe that Set, or somebody had these things on their head, a literal sun, a literal star, moon, but these headdresses were symbolic to the principles and the teachings of ancient Kemet. We understand that. We ain't spooky. So when I say Sa is real, or Heru is real, or Set is real, know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the principles that manifested themselves in the human beings that were ruling in the earth. If it don't get no plainer than that and you can't comprehend that, then something is wrong with you. Shots fired. So, linked to Kemetic Neteru and Neter, the tree of life in old Kemetic stories is very connected with important Neteru and Neter, each showing different parts of life and death coming back to life. Sa, the Neter of the afterlife, is often shown near the tree of life, showing his role in dying and coming back to life many times. This is the cycle. In the teachings of Buddhism, the Bodhisattva represents reincarnation, the reincarnated Buddha, many times. In ancient teachings, of Kemet, reincarnation was a principle. Even in our teaching in Moorish, we say, who was the first person that Yehoshua was reincarnated in? Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror. But anyway, it says, Sa is standing beside or coming out of the tree, showing his link to forever life and soul renewal. In the same way, Set, the Neter of Heka and motherhood, is often close to the tree of life. She is often shown helping the tree, giving its fruits to the dead, showing her role in giving food and safety in the afterlife. Heru, the Neter of love, making babies, is another god connected with the tree of life. She is often shown as the sycamore tree, which you can see here. You can see the goddess pouring libation into the cup. And you can see the priest drinking from the cup here. Heru, it says the Neter of love making babies, is another god connected with the tree of life. She is often shown as a sycamore tree, giving food and shelter to dead souls, showing her role as caring life giver. In Kemetic pictures and stories, these Neter are often seen in scenes that show their link with the tree of life. For instance, in the tomb, pictures, and temple carvings, Sa is often seen with a tree, showing his promise of forever life to the dead. Set is showing giving the tree's fruits or water to the dead souls, showing her role in their care and safety. Heru, as a sycamore tree, is often seen as giving shade and food to the dead, showing her role as caring mother. These pictures not only show the tree of life's importance in Kemetic universe ideas, but also show the connected roles of the Neteru in the cycle of life and death and coming back to life. By knowing these links, we understand more by the tree of life's meaning in old Kemetic religion and its lasting mark in their art and stories. Right? Okay. How it played a role in funerals. In old Kemetic funeral rites, the tree of life was a central theme, often used in tomb setups and special acts to lead the dead on their trip to the afterworld. Think of it as a guiding light showing the way for souls moving through the tricky underworld. Tomb walls often showed pictures of the tree of life with branches full of fruits and roots deep in the ground, showing the promise of forever life and new beginnings. These pictures gave not only comfort to the living, but also heka, words of power, to help the dead when they were crossing over in the underworld, making sure they had safe travel and food in the next world. The Pert Imheru, a group of the invocations and chants often talked about. The tree of life telling the dead how to get its life-giving waters and fruits by using the tree of life in their funeral ways. The old Kemetian repeated their belief in the endless nature of life and death and the forever journey of the soul. So one could move, up the tree of life in ascension, and one could actually come down in descending. There's a measure in our Moorish Holy Quran. We say, well, why was man given a soul? So that he may function upon the plane of soul. That's what the tree of life is symbolic to. So if the tree of life is symbolic to the plane of soul, and it says, why was man given a soul that he might function upon the plane of soul? And why was man given a body of flesh, spirit man, given a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest? As it is above, so it is below. So we understand who made us and why we was made. Right? So it says the tree of life ceremonies had a significant part in different Kemetic parties and religious acts, acting as a main prompt. It says in the big show of their spiritual ways. During a pet festival, which celebrated the renewal of Per Arnisut. It says in the Neteru, the tree of life was often shown in parades and temple acts, showing newness and godly favor. In the same way, in what is known as the Hepsed festival, a big event marking the ongoing rule of the Per Arnisut, the tree of life was key to the ceremonies, standing for the Per Arnisuts linked to Neteru and his role in keeping world order. So the tree of life has always been a symbolic expression in ancient Kemet in reference to these things. You can see Nut, again, the universe giving birth, and the symbolic tree of life, the nature, the principles behind creation and cosmology that brought life into the manifest. This is portions, or we can say increments of the Kemetic periodic table, we can even say. We're going to go so much far to say that, because Kemet was before their time. These parties often had fancy acts where priests would give fruits and water from the tree of life to the Neteru, underlying the tree's role as a source of food and life. By bringing the tree of life into these parties, old Kemetics not only showed respect to their nature, but also repeated their beliefs in the connected nature of life and death and coming back, making a tree a lasting sign for their spiritual and cultural ways. Here's an expression to show you what his doctrine, in reference to the tree of life has touched. It touched Rome. In Christianity, there's a teaching dealing with the tree of life. Jerusalem, dealing with the Hebrew people. Turkey, Mecca, Islam, Kemet, Africa. All of these places have a tradition that's actually dealing with the tree of life. And you can actually see a symbolic separate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there they go. That's the separate right here, that tree covering the continent right here. So, excuse me. It states, in Christianity, the tree of life pops up in the book of Genesis and the book of Revelation, showing life forever and divine smartness. For example, in Genesis, the tree of life stands in the Garden of Eden, offering a never-ending life to those who eat of its fruit. A theme like the Kemetic belief in the tree of life given nature. So before the tree of life represented everlasting life in a garden of everlasting life, in the biblical context, it was already a representation in ancient Kemet, which means, you know, you can understand the connection of what we call Kaballah and Allah. The Ka and the Ba, the spirit and the soul being in Allah. Remember, I told you Allah means a state of being, a state of existence. This is the garden of ancient Kemet, known as Second Aru, or Second Anru in some contexts, or Aket, Aku. Same place. So it says here, right? Its role in modern spirituality and self-help. In today's spiritual practices and self-help activities, the tree of life is a deep sign of connectedness and overall well-being, much like a guide for self-growth and emotional development. Some people see the tree of life as a picture of their path to self-learning and higher understanding, with its roots showing grounding and steadiness and its branches reaching for the higher awareness, a spiritual rise. For example, in meditation and quiet reflection, people often picture the tree of life to bring about feeling of calm and balance, linking their body, feelings, and spiritual self. Also, in self-betterment books, the tree of life is often mentioned as a way to talk about achieving a balanced, good life, stressing the need to care for all parts of oneself. This old science lasting meaning in today's time shows its wide appeal on how it can push for overall well-being and connectedness in today's busy world, right? How it influenced later ideas and beliefs. The idea of the tree of life greatly shaped later thought and faith traditions, including the Kaballah, Christianity, much like a basic idea that changes and fits into different belief systems. Most people think that one is actually amalgamating the Kaballah with Kemet, but no, Kaballah principles existed in Kemet before they became known as Kaballah. This is the ancient Kemetian attestation we get at. You will see in a minute. It says in Kabbalistic practice, the tree of life is a main sign showing the 10 Sephirot or divine lights, hence sa.neter, through which the endless God shows himself and always makes both the physical and the world and the series of a higher or unseen worlds. This deep view matches the Kemetic tree of life's job of linking the skies and the earth and the underworld. So nobody can get away from this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Christianity and their doctrine can be linked back to a tree of life or Kaballah. Islam has a doctrine that links back to the tree of life and Kaballah and Sufism and mystic teachings of Islam. The Hebrew teachings link back to the Kaballah. Masonic teachings have a teaching in reference to Kaballah. More science have teaching that link back to Kaballah. Wait till we get into these measures in a second. All these people have Kaballah teaching. So if y'all here demonize the Kaballah, then you got to demonize your own teaching. What's wrong about knowing about the cosmology and creation? Now I'm going to show you what a remix come in and that old wickedness come in that y'all be talking about. But the problem is that you mixing truth and falsehood because you don't know. So when you see the symbol, not knowing signs and symbols of for conscious mind and men and women of understanding, you condemn the whole measure without knowledge. You throw out the baby with throw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. And this is due to ignorance. Eloquent ignorance, too. It says, sa.neter Yalsu or Yalset. You know, again, is one of the most ancient Kemetic sa.neter. Her name literally means utterer of words, conceiver of worlds. She has a connection with Alset. This is Alset in her creation role. It also connects with Nut in her creation role. But it says, and she is now considered the one of 10,000 faces of all set. If you ever seen the expression of the fairly amongst 10,000 altogether lovely amongst the eastern stars, that's where they get it from. Uh-oh. In very ancient times, she was seen as the great one who come forth and was considered the grandmother of all Kemetic Neteru, except her husband, the son, Atum. The Ososet is depicted wearing the Kemetic vulture crown. They also use the term Mut, in reference to the divine mother as a relation to that. The Uraeus or the cobra or the solar disc, the Wajet, between the two horns, and that's really the crescent, cradle in the sun. It's not really two horns. Similarly, in appearance, it says to the Neterts, it says Hathar or Heteru and Oset. And Usaset, again, was associated with the acacia tree. And I talked about all these trees, the tree of life. The oldest acacia tree was believed to be owned by Usaset and located just north of Heliopolis, Yenu. It says there was the belief that all the Neter and the Neter, or Neteru, if you want to say, were born beneath an acacia tree. See, this is the Neters, represent, the fruits that have fallen from the tree. In the Pert Imheru, the deceased goes to the acacia tree. It says probably referring to the divine children of Ayusaset and the Turks, as dealing with the Neter born beneath the sacred acacia. So now that we unpacked all that information, we show you the images, pouring forth the libation to the goddesses, the Ba symbol, right here. You see the Wajet symbol here. See the libation being poured forth by the goddess as a representation of the tree, the cosmic tree. Here's another one. Goddess giving gifts, we seen, to the rulers on the throne. See the goddess? See the fruits? She's giving the fruits. Here it is again, the goddess again, representing, pouring forth libation again to the Ka. Then you see one here receiving, also a priest. Here's another expression of the tree. She's pouring forth libation, this time in the form of unks. So this represents life, the pouring forth of the waters of life. A lot of people don't know water is synonymous with knowledge as well. Here are some holy impressions in ancient Kemet, demonstrating the tree of life. You see Tehudi here, Ramesu, who some of you call Ramses. You see him with a cartouche, as they would like, a shinu in his hand as a representation of the fruit. That these inscriptions, names of the kings, and so forth and so on, are the gods. Context. Pay attention to it. Sekhmet, we see her here, standing here as well. So we can see a whole bunch of measures that are being demonstrated here. We can see the symbol of giving here. We can see, the Ankh, which represents life. Oh man, we can go into all that, but let us go forward. Here's another one. And I did my DNA, and most of us have a connection to Ramesses, the third. But here's Ramesses the second, and look at what he looked like. He don't look like that Eurocentric one that you mostly see. So we know the one that came behind him had to look just as melanated. That's just one to grow on. There's Tehudi there. You see him again giving up fruits from the tree. He even has his shinty on, which a lot of you like to call aprons. You see, then we see Ta here, right here. Tehudi and Ta. We know what Tehudi and Ta represent. Ta represents the deity of creation, the architect. Tehudi represents divine mind. And it takes the divine mind being that which is an expression of one who is uttering the word. So when Ta spoke, creation began to come into being. This is when the intelligent design began to unfold. You get me? All right. So then we have a symbol here where we have ta. And this is often a symbol of ta, and they like to call it twisted flax. But from an advanced expression, we always look at it as a helaxial DNA pattern. You know, this is the higher way that adepts look at it, not just some rope that's twisted up. Ta represented creation. So what is more befitting? We can say that, well, this is the golden cord of life, that extends from God to his creation. That'll be good. But you still got to associate that, you know, with the symbol, because we know what Ta represented, the giver of life. Edfu, the temple of Edfu, is where this particular inscription was found here. You know, this is one of the largest temples dedicated to Heru and Heteru, you know, of Dendera, so to speak. So here's an expression I showed to our people in the past when I was dealing with Tara. What's the significance of the tree of life and genealogy? Those who come from your family tree. It is DNA. This is the pillar of life. This is the ladder by which one is able to ascend in order to reach their original state of being, or their state of origin. So in this measure here, you know, it ain't strange that when you look up the word Tara, it means he who commits creation into being is giver of life. But when you go into the sound shift in that, what we call Mudaric or Arabic Zara, in Tara, you can see the connection. It means atom, seed, offspring, progeny, children. The Kemetic word being the cause in definition, the Arabic word being the effect. So if it is he, the cause that commits creation into being as the giver of life, then the act or the action that is manifest as a result of the cause is the atom, the seed, the offspring, the progeny, the children, generations. Moabit Canaanite, or what you call Canaanite, the word is Zara. Look them up. It means seed, semen, offspring, descendants, posterity, children. Again, this is the effect of the creator that is calling creation into being as the giver of life. So now when you look at these things metaphysically, symbolically, spiritually, we see Ta here standing up. He grounds himself with his was. That's the staff that he has in his hand. And then he speaks creation into being in creation. This is a principle in action. Most people call him God, sa.neter. Once this happens, then life begins to manifest. If you know anything about creation, you see wind blowing and you paid attention to the wind, you see little sand dunes moving. They're moving in a circle of matter. Why? Because, and I'm giving you things that you can look at, because this is science in action, showing you that there's a grid that moves in a cyclic pattern around us, even though you can't see it with the physical eye, until the act of dust blowing in particles and them being amalgamated, you begin to see the swirls. Because there's a grid around us energetically expressing that pattern. So Ta spoke life into being and life became manifest. This block is a symbol of the four elements of creation, but that rose out of the speaking of Ta. So this semicircle, symbolic to a sun rising, life being manifest, these four corners of this block represents materialization of what has been spoken into being. The cause manifesting the effect. So that happened when creation came into being, and that also happens when birth is given from the goddess on the plane of things made manifest. Your seed is a symbolic atom being planted in the womb. And that seed grows within the universe of the womb to become life. So this is how we become the microcosm of the macrocosm. Hence, fruit that has fallen from the tree of life. The DNA double helix symbol. We see the rod, a dot in the middle of the circle. We told you about that. Now you see that these are elements that are made up, you know, what you call your air, your water, your fire, you know, all of these things, carbon. And it ain't strange that when you say hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, you get aknuk. The Arabic word aknuk, you know, actually means Enoch. You know, Enoch is really also Tehuti. I said this on many occasions, but we're going to do a demonstration on that one day. You know, so look at this in creation. We know Tehuti represents divine mind. Divine mind infusing itself within the elements of creation. We call it intelligent design. Directed panspermia. Huh? Oh, yeah, we're making it plain, even if you don't like it. So this is the expression of Kaballah. If you see 2, 4, 6, 8 manifesting from Autumn here. That's what this represents. This circle represents the womb. You see the goddesses pouring libation, just like they did with the tree. So this is your proto chart from whence the concept of tree of life began to manifest. So then we begin to see there were 2 different paths. You got the one that both of them consist of 9, but there's one that a lot of Europeans like to call the Ennead, which deal with 9, and there's one that express what they call the Agduad, which is 8. But even the Agduad has one that sits at the head of it, so it really expresses the 9. And this is right here in Heliopolis. Hermopolis, the godly family tree, 2400 BC. This is what you have here. You have the Nun in the Nunet, Hu in the Huhet, the Kuk in the Kuket, Amen, Amenet. You see? Re, Autumn, Re, Autumn. Even though this tree was actually first, the Heliopolitan tree, meaning this is the first one ever spoke of. But the second one that came into being was their improvement upon this information. So here it tells you about the principles that manifest. Autumn, Shur, Tefnut, you know, air, moisture. You see what I'm saying? All these different things that take place, you know what it is. Geb, Nut, you know, in the first tree, which they call the India. This is the 9, you know, and every one of them that manifests as a result of that. Again, the Kemetic people improving upon their knowledge then came forth again with the one that I spoke of earlier, the Hermopolis tree. You see, Kemenu, you know, they use the proper names Kemetically, you know, Ayanu, you know, for those who know the Kemetic terminology. But anyway, so we see a pattern then that manifests after this. We see the Heliopolitan Ennead, as they like to call it. We see Autumn, Tefnut, Shur, Nut, Geb, or Set, or Saw, right? We see Nebhet and Set. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the side of that, dealing with the 4 worlds or 4 directions, we see the funerary quaternary in the forms of the seeds of Heru as Duamatef, Mset, Kepsanef, and Hapi. They represent the 4 worlds in the Kemetic measure. You know, then they have the Dendra Triad, which is showing you how life is manifest, so to speak. Het, Her, Heru, and I. This is a seed, a child. But that's a whole nother measure. We'll get into that at another time. I'm showing you this so that you'll see when we get done. Here's another expression of the chart. Autumn, the creator deity. Shu, Tefnut, moisture. Geb, earth, same thing. You know, Nut, sky. Osiris, Isis. Set, Nephthys, Horus. You know, these are the names that they give in the West. So give me a break. But anyway, the Hermopolitan Agduad, the 8 now. Nun, Nunet. Kuk, Kuket. Hu, Huhet. Ma'at, Jehuti. You see, Amun is often the head of this particular actuator. That's where the 9 come in. The solar track here is sa.neter, Ra, Kepri, and you see them in the boats. We know the principle of sa.neter, what she represents. We know what Ra represents. We know what Kepri represents. Okay, so we have another measure here. And I'm focusing mainly on the 5-pointed star at this point, because this is going to be very important. We see coming from the eye here, a zigzag zig measure, and it struck him down. And we see now we got an inverted star. Anybody that know the science of what they call the pentagram, the one upright represent that which is good. The one upside down represent that which is evil. So that's fallen man. But if you were to count these points, you would have 5 and 5, that's 10. See this devil manifested down here, but you see the cherubim, the seraphim, the angelic, the neter at the top. So I tell you all the time, it's just as much devil in us as it is God in us. The higher self and the lower self. This is an expression of the tree, right? Here's another tree. I don't have to break all this down because you got it. You know what I mean? Ta, all set, I ain't so far. They got it all amalgamated up in here. This is expression. Now you see Kaballah coming into play, as they like to call it. This is more out the Ashby's version. You know, the tree of life of the Anunian theology, which he actually calls a theurgy. And it's important to know what a theurgy is. You see what I'm saying? So here's his tree showing the neteru or the powers. Here is the expression of pa.neteru. Remember we spoke of the Eshet pa.neteru. This is Ra Unefa's chart, showing you the principles here. We give honors to these elders for their work. You see, and you see the silhouette of a man here. In meditation, if you look closely, as a representation of the tree, we see from Al-Sa to Tehudi to Sekert or Sekim, Herakuti, Ma'at, Heru, Sebek, Heru, or Set. And then you see coming forth from the sacral chakra, Geb, the deity of the earth, of Kaballah. But anyway, so here's another one of our brother Ra Unefa Amin. You know, and we almost getting through the presentation, people. We just trying to show you how these things evolve into what they are today. This is the same one, just a different expression of it. Here's another one dealing with the Kemetic journey of brother Ra Unefa Amin. You know, you can go into the study of these things later on to get better clarity, because just teaching on these things is a whole nother thing. So I want to go to the expression of the word Kaballah as I spelled it out and I express it. Ka-ba-ah and la. So these concepts represents Ka, the vital essence of divine life force, spiritual double. Ba, and that's the raising of the hand symbol. Masonry, they like to call it the grand sign of distress. I need some help. But anyway, Ba, the soul, consciousness, the person, spirit that journeys between the worlds. Then Allah, the glorified spirit, immortal luminous being, perfected state of divine existence as a representation of the star. So you can see it being expressed here. Kaballah, from the Kemetic standpoint, right? It's your soul, your spirit, and the state of being that we call paradise. You see? Definition. Kaballah, from the Kemetic aspect, represents the total unity of being, the divine process through which the vital essence, Ka, and the personal soul, Ba, are purified, harmonized, and ultimately transformed into the glorified eternal spirit of Allah. It signifies ascended consciousness where the physical, spiritual, and divine aspects of existence merge into a single perfected state, the eternal light body of the divine self. That's that 5-pointed star, arm, leg, arm, head. We call it Kemetically harmony, truth, balance, right order, justice. And that became love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in moral science. That 5. It was in Kemetic before it was anywhere else. The mystical structure of the Kaballah, this term embodies a threefold path of evolution. Function, symbolism, the part, ka, the life force, the divine spark, root energy animating the body. Symbolism, foundation, vitality, connection to the physical world. Ba, soul consciousness, astral traveler, meditator between matter and spirit. You think that's spooky, don't you? Well, try having a near-death experience. Journey, personality, transformation. Allah, the perfected divine light body, immortal and eternal. So you see the combination of Kaballah, soul, spirit, and perfected divine light body. This is why it's stated that when one passed form, they return to the stars. It said that we were born from the stars in the spirit of the teaching of directed panspermia. That's scientific information. And they recently had something that was speaking on some proof of panspermia as it relates to certain elements that came into this part of our planet that has some markings of DNA. But that's a whole nother measure. We'll get into that in another bit. Scientific now. Completion, enlightenment, divine unity. That's the whole goal of studying this book of creation, this Kaballah. Divine enlightenment, divine union. What's wicked about that? What's evil about trying to unite with divine consciousness? What's evil or what's crazy or pseudo with trying to become one with your higher self of consciousness? The God in you. Only person that think like that right there is a person that's stuck on stupidity. And they ignorant. And I mean to say it in a way, ignorant. I meant to say it that way. The full definition of Kaballah. Kaballah is the cosmic formula of ascension, uniting the power of the body, Ka, and the freedom of the soul, Ba, and the glory of the eternal spirit, Allah, into the total state of divine harmony. So there's a union between the spirit and the soul. We call it flesh divine. Spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah in the Moorish Holy Quran. It represents the living tree of life within each being, guiding the initiate from the material realm to the celestial plane and ultimately to union with the infinite source. Do you know that this life that we live represents a series of tests? And that testing ground is your school of initiation. In the testing ground of your school of initiation, you are initiated as you go through experiences of life that challenge you. It can be death. It can be the loss of the love. It can be many different aspects of it. The loss of wealth, the loss of finances, the loss of popularity or whatever. These are tests, but they are initiations. Different degrees of initiation to the adept that is going through life. So it represents the living tree of life within each being, guiding the initiate from the material realm to the celestial plane, ultimately to the union with the infinite source. Mystical etymology, Ka, root, force, physical vessel, foundation of existence, Ba, traveler, intermediary between the seen and unseen realm within the plane of soul. You think about soul plane, you think about the movie, they're getting high on cloud nine. But this the real soul plane. Allah, completion, starlight from eternal glorification. Kaballah, the path of ascended being. The cycle of life, death, transformation, and rebirth as divine light being. It came from Kemet. Before the Judaic school got a hope to it. We done proved it already. We done already proved it already. But we got to pour this libation on you to make sure you get it. Full, it's a full Egyptian tree of the four worlds. And this is dealing with from Ta, which is the earth, to Allah, which is, the initiate traveling inward and upward. Go within yourself and find the God. Travel upward within yourself and find the God above your neck. That's where your adept chamber at. That's where third heaven at. Heaven is the mind which governs the body, the earth, on earth as it is in heaven. So you want to make sure that the actions of your body, your arm, leg, arm, head, is moving in sync or alignment with what you think. Because if not, you're a hypocrite. So Ta represents the earth, matter in action, the realm of matter in action. Ka, life force, or spiritual form. Neteru, divine archetypes, or the gods. Allah, eternal divine light in unity with the source. Kemetically. Kaballah, the tree of four worlds in the spiritual journey. The Egyptian tree of four worlds, we almost done, family. Spiritual journey, Ta, which is also in the Kemetic Kaballah, Ta, represent the earth. In the Judaic teaching, they call it Asia. They call the earthbound state as Asia. You see what I'm saying? So it says the human realm, where divine sparks experience individuality, challenges in the physical plane. We were just talking about that. Ka. These them degrees right here. You want to talk about these degrees, Judah Nazareth? Ka, the energetic double, where the spiritual blueprints are given form and animated with vitality. Neteru, the realm of the gods, where cosmic laws, archetype, divine intelligence govern creation. Alu or Allah, again, the source realm, unity with the eternal shining ones, pure light and transcendence. Ain't nothing spooky about this. All of this is teaching you how to become one with your God. No matter what you call it. Everybody got a doctrine that teach that. But if you only know the exoteric, the outer doctrine, and you don't know nothing about the esoteric, then you burn up from the start. So again, we have symbolic mapping. The world, Egyptian symbol, the key idea. Allah, star, the luminous soul. Pure emanation, the key idea. Neteru, the It also represents an expression of the truth. The deity is the glyph of the archetype of divine intelligence. That's Neteru. You know, now you got a better understanding. These ain't no bunch of gods and demigods. This is divine intelligence. That's what the Neteru is. Ka, two raised arms, or uplifted arms. You know, life force, spiritual form. Ta, you know, land, you know, represents the glyph. You'd often see that as a quadratic circle with a cross in the middle. You know, four ways. That's Ta. Humanity, the physical diversity. So now we understand this. In our closing, we're going to fly through these pictures. We talked about the jet pillar earlier. You know, these jet pillar here, you can see it represents the foundation of your body, your spine. Everything that's connected to this jet pillar, your spine, you know, you can actually see, you know, what is dominant. You know, what controls the eyes, what controls the pituitary, left brain, right brain, the left side of the neck, you know, what control the heart, what control all of these nerves that branch out from this tree of life, you know, controls everything in your body. But there's a deeper spiritual knowledge to that. So this is your jet pillar. See the goddesses standing here with their wings lowered, and you see the star, which is often symbolic to the Amduat, or, you know, even Seba, because you can learn, you be taught. See the expression here, the goddess is demonstrating the same thing. Jet pillar in the middle. You got a whole bunch of Kemetic principles on the manifest. This one's infused with even, you know, the chakras, so to speak. Even that is Kemetically rooted. We'll do that on another time. So you see Aten, Amun, Ta, Ra, Ma'at, Asa, Osiris, Heru, or Horus, Anubis, Anpu, going into the underworld, Kep. We go into Set. The lower you get, you begin to see how these things become manifest down there. See all of that? Mankind, initiates, ascendant ones, creators of form. You know, and it goes all the way back up until you reach your creator up here. Supreme being. So this is a map on how to get back to the state from which you fall. All right? The cosmic tree, Jed, and the world tree key attributes. The cosmic tree, or the Jed, represents the cosmic structure of creation from the primordial or primeval Ben. to the celestial sphere, sometimes identified with the jet pillar symbolizing stability and the spine of an Asa. You got to have some backbone to be a real man. The resurrected king. 4 branches correspond to the 4 sons of Heru, the 4 directions. We talked about that earlier. 4 foundational elements of the cosmos. The festival of raising the jet pillar, where the pharaoh literally reestablished cosmic balance. The metaphysical meaning, cosmic tree represents the universal axis or the axis mundi. The roots deep within the noon, primordial waters. The trunk, the cosmic axis linking the worlds. As it is above, so below. The branches, stars, planets, constellations, etc. On the tree, the world tree, divine order manifests in my eye. There's some order, Kemetically. Okay? We have the integrating of both of these trees. The sacred tree, cosmic tree are not separate. They are 2 perspectives from the same truth. Sacred tree is microcosmic, focusing on the soul's journey and immortality. The cosmic tree is a macrocosmic, describing the universe as a living divine organism. Mystical formula, Ka, Ba, and Allah. Kaballah, the inner vital essence and Ba soul ascend through the sacred tree until they merge with Allah, the glorified spirits of the eternal stars rooted in the cosmic tree of the universe. What's wicked or evil about that? This is essentially the Egyptian as above, so below, similar to the Kabbalistic relation between individual tree of life and the universal Sephirotic structure. You see? So, I ain't going to read all this one right here. This is talking about the Nehet as the palm tree. We actually went into the Nehet, so I don't have to go into that. This is the Nehet as it relates to the Eshed, the tree of life and the cosmic tree. We went over a lot of this stuff here, so I don't really have to go through this. What I do is once I get my thing, if anybody wants this PDF, I'll send a lot of this to you so you can have it and then study it, so to speak. You know what I mean? Just email me at EgyptianAdept.com, and I'll send it to you, because I want to get to opening up the floor. And so what I'm doing is showing the mystical levels of the Nehet tree. Each part of the tree reflects an aspect of the soul in the cosmos. We went over a lot of this, so I really don't have to do that. I don't want to be redundant, but I want to be thorough, but I want to move ahead and just get through with this presentation right now. So we're dealing with Sumerian tree of life. They had a tree of life 4500 BCE. You can see it here in Sargon's palace, same tree with the Anunnaki being featured. We can see the tree here and it being compared to the DNA expression. We can see the tree here as it compares to it. This is just, some more adept science in relation to connecting the DNA to the tree of life. That's the tree. The tree represents your DNA, genealogy. It not only deals with the DNA, but your DNA has God's code within it. It's encoded with God knowledge. You see? Just running through these pictures now. There's your Ankh in the form as it expresses a measure here in the concept of the tree. You see one meditating within a pyramid because the sacred geometry is attached to this thing too. You see what is known as the Ouroboros. Here, the serpent consuming its tail, which is a symbol that has often been adopted by theosophists. They got that concept from Kemet when you deal with creation in the cycle of creation. The Wajet. This is the point that we have come to, though, when it comes to dealing with where we are. See, the age of DNA dealt with the emergence of biological life, coming from a spiritual or entity that deals with a cosmological expression. Post DNA, now you see some X and O's, so to speak. This is the emergence of artificial life, and artificial intelligence gives birth to that artificial life. And that's the problem. The artificial life is a materialistic mindset. You see, when you get caught up in that misinformation that we was talking about, a misappropriation of it, Life exists in many different forms throughout the universe. Biological life eventually morphs into artificial life. That's what has happened. That's what done happened to us, people. We have begun to demonstrate and think along the lines of artificial intelligence. When you're extremely materialist and you believe that nothing exists outside of that, that's artificial intelligence. When you become extremely religious and you can't connect to the scientific act, that's artificial intelligence. So I'm just showing various trees now. We're getting ready to open up the floor. This is one from the Orishas. Adu Lamar, you see all of them up in there. Right there. They got a tree for them too. Everybody been dealing with this tree. Ain't nobody safe. They go to DNA chain right there again. You know, got all the deities now. As they relate, here's another one. Dealing with Ephi. For those of you who like that. Yep. They even got a chart for those in Ephi. Even though it's 16 circles. Here's one dealing with Confucianism. See, they express, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tao. There they go. Right here in the teachings of Confucianism. That's a tree of life. When you go into the teachings of Hinduism, the tree of life is expressed right here in this demonstration, along with the chakra chart and everything. The tree of life is expressed in this Buddha chart right here. Same measure. When you count them, it's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, they either drawing off the 9, what they call the Indian, or they drawing off of the 8. These different schools. Some of them draw both of them. Here's another one dealing with Hinduism. You know, and they actually have the Hebrew expressions in here. See the Buddhic body, you know, a Norman, Akaya, the Dharmakaya, you know, all of that right there. Look at that. Everybody drawing off of this tree of life, family. Make no mistake about it. It's trending. It's been trending in every walk of life that you can deal with. So for one, in any school of thought to call it wicked, then you got to call your teachings wicked. Because everybody been dealing with this tree of life. But guess where it came from? Kemet. See it right here? Another expression. This is another one dealing with, you know, the Buddhic or the Hindu expression. They talk about the Ida and the Pingala here. That's those two serpents which represent the corticoid veins that go around, you know, your spine. And they represent what you call chakra points, where they cross over at. In science, they call them 7 ganglionic centers. Go look it up if you don't believe me. We almost done, family. We at the end. I'm just showing you pictures now to show you various people that took these charts. This is the one that Saw actually has in the thumbnail. This one is interesting because it shows you the tree of life above ground. But then it shows you, see the serpent sliding on up the tree right there? But then it shows you the one that's beneath the ground. And in that tree, it got everything demonic in it. Goodness gracious. Lilia, Gamia, Samia. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to call the names. Because in words is power. So right here beneath the dirt, beneath the roots, in your lower self, basically. You know, that's where that beast at. That's where that Lucifer, that's where that Satan at. If you want to know how Lucifer became the devil and then became Satan, dragon, and beast, all these represents degrees of a fall. He was good as Lucifer. So yeah, he was the bright and morning star. He was a good guy at that time. But when he fell from the state of Lucifer and went in the devil, you know, then became devilish and then satanic, taking his ways out through it, you know, then dragging, he gonna drag you on down into the abyss of your lower self and beast. Now you're in beast mode. You want to kill up everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a mindset. That's a thought pattern. Ain't nothing spooky about that. Them principles manifest just like good principles do. See? So this is another expression of the tree. Like I said, I'm just going through pictures. I'm almost done. Here's one for those of you. Kaballah ain't got nothing to do with my Jesus. Oh, yes, it do. You see him up there being crucified. Or is he really being crucified? You see? Because there is no crucifixion canonically. He didn't die on the cross according to us. And the Jesus that many of the people talking about don't really exist. What about the psychophysical Jesus that's crucified in the back of your skull? That seed that travels up your spine after being initiated as a result of you conserving your life for. Well, let me get out. I'm trying to go somewhere else. I ain't gonna go there because it ain't time for that yet. Okay. If you look at this, they say Jacob had a dream about a ladder that was on earth and it reached up to the heavens, right? Jacob now in the Bible. And it said angel was going up and down this ladder. And he was dreaming in a trance state. Then he seen one at the top of the ladder saying, I'm the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and Isaac. And I'm going to give to your descendants. This is God speaking to Jacob through his DNA, basically. How many of y'all seen that? Watch this. It say when Jacob woke up and he thought surely the Lord was in this place. He woke up. He wasn't conscious. I was unaware of it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is his body. He was in his highest state of consciousness. This is none other than the house of God, his body. This is the gate of heaven, Genesis 28. Huh? Now let me fly through the rest of these pictures. This is, and that was also, entry into your Jewish Kaballah, which came forth between 12th and 13th century. That's where I'm at right now. This is Pleiades, all the star constellations right here. This is an expression of the human body again. The higher self. This represents another portion. See the triangle going down. If you unite them and pull them together, it becomes a 6-pointed star. That's a whole nother message. It goes here, manifests in the world. That's Asia. Remember I told you the physical part is Asia. Look like he getting ready to defecate. But anyway, it says, here's another expression of your tree of life. Various forms of mantras and mudras being demonstrated here for healing. Here again, in the beginning was the word with God, the word was God. This is my handiwork. I put this together. You can see it. The tree of life in the name of Yahweh. Y'all see me put this out here. See the DNA drawing, tree of life. You see the man here, tree of life. For you Hebrew Israel, they go to Hebrew. Kaballah ain't got nothing to do with my Hebrew. Yeah, it do. Yeah, it do. There you go. Ain't nobody safe. Everybody done took something from the Kaballah people. You see? There it is again. See the 5-pointed star and the inverted 5-pointed star? You bring them together. Look. Count them all. There you go. That's your Sephiroth again. Representing the 4 points of the cardinal points and also the elements. As above, so below, north, south, east, and west. It's all up in there. The covenant of unity. Look at the letters. The 22 letters. Okay? Another expression dealing with the 9 order of the angels. That too is based off the Kaballah, people. The hierarchy of the angels. See here, the 3rd heaven, 2nd heaven, 1st heaven. Creator, seraphim, angels of love, thrones of understanding, cherubim, wisdom, power, dominions, angels, archangels, angels and princes, angels, foundations, the barriers of time and space, man, kingdom, planets. That's all Kaballah. Adam Cadman. Then it breaks it down. Come on, man. Your 9 orders of the angel is also a tree of life, people. This is the same thing, but just another expression. So I ain't going to go over that again. This is also showing the same thing, dealing with that. So I ain't going to go over that. This is the same thing, but including Kemetic parallels. That's worthy of note, showing that these things correspond with each other. But like I said, if you want the PDF, I'll send it to you. This is the Islamic Kaaba of Allah, Tasawwuf, Islamic monotheism. Oh, Muslims, you thought you was getting away, didn't you? No, sir. Oh, yeah. When you get into the concept of what we call Ilhum, or paradise, and Wahid, the manifestation of the oneness in Wa, Ham, Lam, and Dal, and the one that's unique, Kaaba Allah. I can't make this up. Ilahum, Wahidun, Hakikun, or Hakum, the one God. You find that one. And then Dun al Misri of Egypt, way back during 796, is one of the first people to express this type of sign. He studied under various teachers and traveled extensively in Arabia and Syria. So this is where a lot of this teaching began to be taught. Here are some measures in Arabic that deal with a tree of life that's being expressed, and it represents the planets. All of these are planets within these pyramids. This was actually based off of the Giza concept as well. This was an Islamic source. And so all of these circles in each one of these 4 pyramids, you know, represent pretty much expressions of the name of these planets. The planets that's mentioned. Even the planets, you know, when you deal with the 9 planets, you know, they actually express, you know, the concept of Kaballah. Here again in Islam, you know, a breakdown, and this is actually a model of the soul based on the teachings of Ibn Arabi, an Islamic mystic. You know, the Akira, you know, Allah, you know, the Munjia, the Munjia, and the Nafs, or the Anfusihun, the Mukmaina, you know, the Ikhlaq, and the Lawama, and the Amra, the Mulikat, you know, Shaitan, Nafs, heart, you know, reason and ruh, all of that. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those of you who think that you ain't dealing with no Islamic Kabbalah, oh yeah, the mystics and the Sufis dealing with it. Here's another one from Ibn Arabi, dealing with the Arsh. Notice the Arsh has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He dealing with the throne of Allah. It said 8 bears the throne. That's the Kemetian aspect that deals with the Hermopolitan concept, or what they call the Agdawad. So Al-Ruh, you know, Kafa al-Hasnat, Kafa al-Saniya. I mean, this is overkill. We can go into all these points right here, but yes, that's a tree of life. Here's another Islamic tree of life being broke down. So all our teachings got a map that's dealing with this tree of life. Allah at the top, you know, one come all the way down to the bottom. That's where they find their devil at. Huh? At every level is a greater devil. This is I can't make this stuff up now. You know, when I do the research, I do it thoroughly. Here's another expression of the tree. 2, 4, 6, 8. You know, this is dealing with the throne again. It's Sani Kamil, Ahadiyya. Those who are Muslim know what this is saying. The Wahadiyya. You know, all of that. The Safit, the Asma, the beautiful names of Allah. Right there. Here's the other one. Kubaliya, Malakotiya. You know, dealing with the heart. Another tree of life right here. Here's another expression from Islam. Hahu Ahadit. Lahu Wahadit. Remember the beginning in the creation of Kemet, Kuk and Kuhet, Hu and Huhet? Yeah. Astro Jabarut and Wahadiniyat, the light. Malakut, Arwa, Matter, Nasut, Ajam, Astro. And so this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Again, your tree is right here, family. They'll try to show you that Allah is a man slickly, meaning his expression. He expresses himself through man. They won't come out and say it, but this is what they express right here, put him in the shape, you know, of the human. So in closing, family, because we got just a few slides here, you know, the Kaballah, and you notice it's spelled with C. This is how you can tell this is coming from the Western teaching. This is when people go to mixing, you know, this magic stuff and, you know, go to trying to use the Kaballah to, you know, for incantations and doing harm. That's where that stuff end up happening at when you get into this Western Kaballah. Truth be told, people, truth be told. And their adaptation to it is that you had a 10 separate in the 22 letters. 10 and 22 represent 32. Hence the symbology of the 32 degrees. Now, if you pay attention to something at the top of these pillars, it says wisdom, strength, and beauty. There's a tree of life up in here, even though you don't see it that way. It represents the 3 pillars. Wisdom, strength, and beauty back was his Gomar Oz Duba. G-O-D. The other way is dog, D-O-G. So you got to come from a dog-like mind to a God state mind, from niggas to gods. Huh? Wisdom, strength, and beauty. G-O-D, you and me. Goma Oz Dubar. Like our brother Rakim said, right? So, again, you see the same tree. Here, you see the Goma Oz Dubar right here. You know, Albert Mackey was the one who came forth with this in 1807, 1881. You know, he paid attention to the wisdom, strength, and beauty and seeing what it meant. Goma Oz Dubar, God. So that's your God. So in Masonic teachings, that's what they're trying to become. Now check this out. Here's an Arabic document. What's going on here? The 5 perfect points of meeting your brethren in the Masonic Lodge, right? You see how they done brought this together with Kaballah? See the Kaballah here. You see the Arabic and the Hebrew writing connected here. But you see, in this Arabic document right here, it's demonstrating the same thing that's being demonstrated over here. Ooh, I told y'all to leave Kemetian alone. Here's the other stuff coming out of the Kaballah of the West. Look at the photon, light, plasma, ether, Boaz and Yakin, the pillars, right? Then, when you come over here, you see protons, quarks. Energy equals mass and matter, leptons, gravity, neutrinos, atom. You know, this is what they did with their Kaballah. This is what they, you know, pretty much brought the science in. This is your Hermetic Kaballah, Rosicrucian tree, you know, which is Christian adopted. This is, you know, the basic aspects of the Hermetic Kaballah. That's purely Hermetic. You see they done mixed everything up there. This is the tree that deal with the Tariot over here. So when you get into the Hermetic Kaballah, they combining all that stuff. And them the ones that's getting into this magic stuff. Don't confuse that with the Kemetic Kaballah. There's a difference between the two. Kemetic and Hermetic is 2 different things. The anatomy of the Dakota, occult anatomy, the Temple of Solomon, Castle of Camelot. All of this document here goes into a man. And you see the tree of life. It's so much in here. If you get this document, as I put it together, you can go and do the research on yourself. This when they get to getting into the magic. Through these principles right here. They get into alchemy and all that. They go to calling on certain beings, angels, and all that type of stuff to do bidding for. That ain't how we demonstrate the Kaaba, Allah, in the Kemetic aspect. We assume the God form. Instead of calling on the God, we assume the God form. So ancient Egyptian Adept Chamber, Merkaba, that's a measure I created to show you the knowledge. Okay, this is also a symbol of it. These symbols come from symbols that were given from Prophet Noble Drew Ali in our chart. And they call it the 9 orders of the world. And he basically had a tree of life there. You know, I created this chart right here. Y'all done seen it a couple of times. You know, showing you the concept of the tree of life here. 10 above, 10 beneath. See, both of the pentagrams are upright. There's a lot of geometry in this. Here's the tree of life as expressed by my chairman in our questionnaire. See, Allah represents justice, mercy, love, and right. The plant, protoplasm, beast, man, and earth. That's all the shadow. You know, give 5 names that's given to the descendants of Adam and Eve. Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. What is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many cells are there? 2. Name them, higher self and lower self. What people represent the higher self? The angels who protect the holy city Mecca. What people represent the lower self? Those who were cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teachings. The holy city Mecca I'm talking about is the one above your neck. So what people represent the higher self? The angels that are thought made manifested in human flesh, which is your mind. But that's what we say an angel is in more science, a thought of Allah made manifest in human flesh. So this is what a Mecca is. And only angels or you with a divine and righteous thought can protect your mental Rolodex or protect your neck. The people that represent the lower self represent them lower thoughts that you cast out of the holy city, them dirty thoughts of hating your brother, them wicked thoughts of hating your brother and sister, want to kill them and do harm to them. You see, you got to cast that out. That's how you become like the cherubim in the Garden of Eden, standing up there with a flaming sword of consciousness. You can't come in here. I wish you would. So, you know, we express, you know, the expression of our brother Noble Drew Ali as an adept. Because this is adept science that I have given to you. Most people believe this stuff I'm telling you should be secret. They think I done violated the oath, but I ain't took no oath. That's what a hierophant is. A hierophant is a revealer of the light. We don't conceal nothing. You see, that's the difference between one who took an oath and one who took a sacred vow. So we come from man to sheep to adept to the degree of prophet to angel to cherubim and from cherubim to seraph. All these represent degrees that take you into third heaven. If you understand your tree of life. See this right here? These were the symbols I was showing you. Dealing with Noble Drew Ali. Look at this. 2, 4, 6, 8. Looking at both sides. The 9 wonders. You see Prophet Noble Drew Ali manifesting at the bottom. Right here in the charter that he brought for his organization was a tree of life. And look at Allah at the heights. See, I'm telling this symbolism is all over the place. Oh, the Fahami gospel and the teachings of Fahami. Their tree of life was expressed here. They even mentioned, you know, the sun is Allah, Al-Sa, or Osiris, Al-Tun, Ish and Isha, the sun. You know, all of this being mentioned here. And this was a student of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I'm addressing the students of Noble Drew Ali who went and created their own movement. Yes, the Fahami temples of Islam, you know, that brought forth by P. Nathaniel Johnson came from a student of Noble Drew Ali. Look at the tree of life here in the form of the man. Point 1 all the way to 9. The NOI, theology of time. Look at what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. He say, I want to bring you into the knowledge of yourself. Why are you nothing? Are you in the way talent with the universe? Yes. Elijah, why do you make the 0 round? Because that's the way the universe was before the creation of man. Out of it, we came by one who was self-created. He didn't come from the creation of another. He's the creator himself. The first, he said, the first, remember that. He made himself in a circle so that the wisdom of his self-creation could keep going to give knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to you and me. I want us to remember that. Out of this darkness came one, and he took the unknown and put it in front of himself. For what? To produce the known. That's why the 0 goes in front, to make more zeros. He puts more up there besides 0, and it kept producing or making this one tenfold more powerful than it is just by adding zeros. See, these are symbolic circles. Count from 1 up to 10, and the 10 is just a 0 that deals with the cycle. You see what I'm saying? So it says, what are you trying to drive us to, Muhammad? I'm saying that the more of you who knew nothing and was like that 0 are added to the one God, you became something. So when you put 1 beside 0, you get 10. If you put 0 beside the 1 on the left, then you get a fraction. I'm only now making figures of us, and from the figures we teach, and you can understand. You see? And so right here, this was his 1 up to 10 in the creation, dealing with cosmology. The 5% nation, they speak of the first 9 born. Where do you think that type of language come from? That come from the Iliad or the Ainu. You see? Come on, man. Let's stop playing with ourselves. And the concept of the supreme mathematics from 1 up to 9 and born cipher. Look at that. You see it right there. From 1 up to 9 born cipher. Arm, leg, arm, head. Yes, sir. The tree of life is there too. You see? And last but not least, you know, because this is actually the slide before the last slide. I want to give honor to our brother Freeman L. You know, good brother, he passed form. But, you know, this was his creation here. He showed an amalgamation of all the teachings and what it is he studied in life. You see, he had Gnosis here dealing with the compass in the square, Mason or Mason, as he put crescent and star, the Ma being the crescent, the star being the seed, you know, man, you know, Afura, Africa, you know, wise men, he went into the hypothalamus, pituitary crest, I am Christ, you know, boy, biological youth organism, your own universe, you, God, operator, generator, operator, and destroyer, Egypt. He broke it down into math, it became 7. You know, master, able, noble, man, generator, operator, destroyer again. You know, everyone, it says, everyone's born in the circle. 7 is the perfection on the physical plane. You know, he goes into the heart, Hebrew, her well, zodiac strength. Yeah, this brother wasn't playing. Quran, knowledge, order, rhythm, astronomy, and nature. I, self, law, am master, generator, operator, destroy again. Hiram Abiff, the square, 360 degrees. Allah. You know, this brother has studied all of this. You know, what is the old time religion, we are asked? Islamism is what we say, not the Arab Islam, the one that our ancestors demonstrated. Islamism is just the name that we give. But it says the old wisdom religion, science, religion, and philosophy was one. You know, one could find this in the teachings of the Vedas, the mysteries, the teachings of Chaldea, Kemet, Egypt, Zoroastrianism, you know, the teachings of Confucius, Plato, Kaballah, you know, Judaism, you know, philosophy, the Essenes, Christianity, Masonry, the teachings of religion of Muhammad, science of religion, Constantine teaching, Christianity, all love at some point done draw from the tree of life. I, self, law, and master. And last but not least, who is God in the holy city of Mecca to keep the unbelievers away? Angels. And if an angel is a thought of Allah made manifested in human flesh, then that means the good thoughts in your mind drive away the wicked thoughts. And this is how you keep the devil out your business. What is the modern name for these Asiatics? We just told you in the Kabbalistic chart, Asia just represents the earthbound. The modern name of them, Asiatics. And it says, what is the shade of their skin? Olive. You know, olives come in many different shades. From the lightest of the light to the ripest of the ripe. You know, are the Moorish Americans in relation to the angels? Yes, we all have the same fathers and mothers. And I give honors to you, family. That's where my end is right there. We had a lot to unpack, and I wanted to make it fulfilling, you know, but we at the end now. Let me go over here so we can open up the flow. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You see, but can't nobody say the Kaballah is evil unless they believe that they teaching's evil. All right. Where you at, Brother Sa?
You going in. Damn, man. You going in, bro. Whenever you get the mic, I just fall back and let you blow. Cause yo, man, God damn, you got slide. See, that's what I'm talking about, Apostle. We got Apostle in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you gotta lag. You gotta lag.
You refute that, sir.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Okay.
Yes, I wasn't asleep. Believe me, I wasn't asleep, y'all. You know the game is on, the football game, and I was just watching while he's doing that too. You know what I'm saying? I was watching both. Right. But yo, man, I heard everything you said because I got my headphones on. That's why when you started calling me, I was like, oh, okay, let me get in there. But yo, man, all you do is bring up your sources, man. That's what I'm talking about. This brother, yeah, he was showing you, man. He wasn't just talking. He was showing you what he's talking about. Hey, Pastor. Hey, Pastor, I'm going to say this one time. It's not about you, but if you stick your foot in it, you're going to burn. You're going to get burned, brother. That's all I'm saying.
When I'm asking you.
Don't ask me. He's the one that gave the presentation.
I'm saying he brought up sources. So I'm going to ask you.
Don't ask me anything. He's the one that gave the presentation, Apostle. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't stick your foot in the fire, bro.
Forget it.
All right. Smart man. Smart man. Fall your ass back.
Let me show you what a source is. I'm going to share my screen. Please share it for me. I'm going to show you what the source is. This is a source. Okay? This ain't my writing. I didn't write it. I didn't put this together. A source, a primary source, is an eyewitness. Somebody that eyewitnessed something and gave their measure on what they saw. That's the primary witness.
So what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, brother? Just say it.
What I'm saying, without you interrupting. You're famous for interrupting. And then calls and say, do it. But do it because you do it. So, a primary source.
So are you saying that Kemetian didn't bring no sources?
Brother, stop. Let me say what I'm saying. You ain't got to interrupt me. So, JFK, by watching on TV when I was a kid, said, that's not what you can do for you. That's not what your country can do for you. But that's what can you do for your country? So I'm a primary source because I heard him say it. Now, secondary source would be, I heard my mother and them talking about what John F. Kennedy said. I didn't actually see it, but I heard them talk about what he said. Now, this is a secondary source. Google the results of Kaballah. Look how I spell it. Kemetian didn't spell it this way. Why? Because he added his own stuff to it. He spelled it Kaballah. He put Allah in the phrase, but it's not there. So it's Kaballah. There's no Allah there. There's a Ka in Hebrew, which means hand. There's a Ba, which means tent or house. And there's a La, which means instruction. But let's see who created this. Who created the Kaballah? The Kaballah as a district system of Jewish mystery, or I can't pronounce that word, mysticism, began to take shape in the late 12th century, talking AD, after Christ, in province of France, northern Spain, with the book of Bahir.
All right, Apostle.
No, I'm just showing you where and how it was created and who created it. Because see, you asked me why we don't read it. We didn't create it. This is almost 1,200 years after we left Israel. This is under the magistrates. The Masons. This is under the magistrates. The one that changed our language.
All right, Apostle, out of all this that you're saying, what are you trying to say, brother? Say it. If you got something to say, say it.
Yeah, because what he's saying, he's moving off of the mark. Apostle, you getting a misunderstanding. Bro.
That's what he's doing.
The topic is, listen, Apostle, listen, I'm not arguing with you. The topic is the ancient Kemetic attestation of Kaballah, Adept science or pseudo-science fiction, brother. And so when I said that, and the reason it's spelled that way, I showed you the Kemetic origins on how this stuff existed before the so-called Jewish Kaballah came into existence. You understand? And I showed you Ka, Ba, and Allah in combination, what they mean.
You wrote that.
No, brother. These are terms that existed before me. This stuff is coming out of Kemetic. I didn't write that. You giving me too much credit.
You did not
I did the research. I did the research. No, I did show anything. I showed everything.
Apostle, stop talking over him, brother. Remember we talked about that. Let him go.
Brother. I showed everything, brother, but you don't comprehend it because you too contentious. I want to ask the people in the, look, hold up, mute him, sir. I want to ask the people in the audience. People in the audience, which one mindset is Apostle demonstrating? He being a monomaniac or a sophomaniac?
Well, sit up here.
I gave y'all the definition for it. Is he being a monomaniac or a sophomaniac right now?
Well, right now you got him running. That's what's up. There you go. You got him running again.
Yeah,
you know,
because the thing is, Apostle don't have knowledge of things and try to speak on things that he don't even know what he's talking about. Like, bro, I'm talking about the Kemetic Attestation. That means evidence of. So I'm showing you evidence before there was a Jewish Kaballah, the principles existed in Kemetic. How did that go over your head after all them sources I put out there? And those were sources. Because I showed you walls and depiction from Ramesses being there. And what all saw, it was depicted in Kemetic. All this stuff come from Kemetic. I didn't make this up and write it.
Right.
I just put it together in a presentation and presented it to you. What are you talking about? Come on, Apostle. You got to be way more intelligent than that, brother. Stop it. You know, you just want to say something and don't even know what you're talking about and don't know nothing about it. But that don't change the fact that it's a Kaballah in your teaching. You want to call it wicked, but it's in the doctrine of Hebrew. So when Islam, one thing about us, we don't accept a portion of the book. We accept the whole book. You can't accept Hebrew teaching and reject all the other doctrine they created.
Right.
That's hypocritical. Go ahead, sir.
All right, we got Judah Nazareth in the building. Judah, you got a question, brother, or a statement?
Just a statement. Shout out to sa.neter for having me on. It's been a long time since I've been on, a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Apostle. Glad you're feeling better. Come on, Kemetian. You know sa.neter put a hefty title on you, brother. He called you the champion of the HOK. No, sa.neter's not gonna give me my props, even though I'll be knocking down everybody that steps in the way of Judah Naz. They get laid down flat. You know, I've been trying to challenge you for years. You had your ASIC gels on running. Brother, you said it yourself in the chat. You said, oh, you want to talk about degrees? I've been trying to debate you on this. I've been trying to debate all. Just real quick, I ain't trying to be all long with it. Just real quick, I had some notes, and I ain't going to be long with it. Hold on. Real quick. So I was paying attention, like I always do. First off, I'll just say, the tree of life is the Torah, right? It ain't no actual, like, tree, okay? This comes from old mystery teachings, right? So that's one. Two, Adept didn't show any sources from ancient Egypt saying anything that he said. He didn't. He didn't. There was no writings he showed from ancient Kemet that said that what he tried to interpret, this is what it means. In other words, he was doing the Charlie Clips, Daylight, Loaded Lux freestyle off the dome. That's what he was doing. Hold on. Hold on. I want to show you something real quick. If you can see this guy here, this is where Kemetian Adept is getting his stuff from. This guy is called Suleiman Muhammad. He was an Arab. He's the guy that taught Timothy Drew, aka Noble Drew Ali. He claimed he was a 92nd degree Mason. He created what he called Egyptian Masonry and had got our people into it. But he was not a so-called black man. He was an Arab.
You said he taught Noble Drew Ali?
Yes, this is Noble Drew Ali's teacher named Suleiman Muhammad.
Is that true, Kemetian?
Nah, it ain't true.
I never heard that.
See, the thing is, this what I'm talking about.
Wait. No, hold on.
Check this out. Hold up, Judah. I'm gonna let you speak. This has nothing to do with the presentation. Y'all got to learn how to stick to the subject matter, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with that. And all them the information dealing with Suleiman, I'm the one that put it out there. It's in a Lean Bay page. He clipped it from my page. And it's information I ain't even put out there. Now you have to prove, since you brought that up in here, that Noble Drew Ali was the student of Suleiman. Prove it right now. And
okay,
also, so watch what I do. Be careful.
Remember,
Prove it.
Brother,
Prove
let me
it.
speak, brother. I am. If you let me
I'm silent. Prove
That'd be nice. That'd be great. Remember, Masons always lie. Okay, Albert Pike told you they always lie. They're going to sit right in your face and lie to you. Watch this. It says that the name Suleiman's movement was the Canaanite Temple. Timothy Drew, Professor Drew, later known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali, was a co-founder. Timothy Drew, Professor Drew, met him in Egypt and persuaded him to come to America. This man of African descent was depicted wearing a fez, and it was reported that he had been proclaiming his movement to be both Islamic and Masonic, a Mohammedan masonry. This is why you see Kemetian trying to like mix in Islam and Kemet when they're totally different. I have the Quran. The Quran don't speak nothing about no Kemet, nothing. Hold on. That's a few notes on. Real quick, he started going on to the Jed pillar. You can find this in Hinduism. He lied about that. Okay, hold on. Basically, he did tell the truth that the chakras and all that stuff comes from Hinduism. This is also based on Freemasonry also as well, because they mix a whole bunch of stuff in Freemasonry. It's just a fact. Wait, hold on. Kaballah is a hoax. If you don't believe it, look it up. It's not real. Okay, it's not. Y'all know that it's made in the medieval time. It's not real. They just made this up, right? And the people who practice this are called Luciferians, Satanists, right? And what's good is evil, and what's evil is good. This is what they teach, right? Hold on, real quick. I'm almost done. Hold on.
Judah, you still didn't prove that. Hold up, you still didn't
Brother,
prove
okay.
the
All right.
source that Suleiman taught Ali. I'm waiting on that.
Okay, is there a
Please
picture of
please show me? I ain't talking about reading, but what no
brother? We want me to, first off, Timothy. Damn, brother, I heard you.
Judah.
I heard you, brother. Judah, if you let me speak, brother, I heard what you said. You said prove, brother. I heard. Brother, I heard what you see. He does this all the time, sir. He does this all the time.
Judah,
whenever I start talking,
trying to argue with you.
You don't need to argue with me. You didn't let me, sir. He said I had five.
Listen, I'm gonna let you speak.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna let you speak.
Bro,
I'm gonna let you speak.
I'm going to prove it if you be quiet.
I want you
to
show me.
I'm going to, bro. If you be
hold up. Hey, Judah, just let him get it out. Let him get it out, Judah. And then you could go in.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, just let him get it out.
All I'm asking you. I don't want to hear about you going into nothing else. I asked you to show me proof. I didn't ask you to read to me from a source that I already know where you done read that stuff from. I want to see proof. Because I'm finna show you what Suleiman was really teaching.
All right.
I want you to show me proof. Well, I'm gonna let you do that, and I'm gonna be quiet. Show me the source now.
Go ahead, Judah.
Okay, so there's a picture of y'all can see Timothy Drew, who they call Noble Drew Ali, throwing up the Masonic sign of admiration. You want to see a source? Here's a source right here. Here goes the head clap. Here's a source. You can get the Scottish Rite Illustrated Volume 2. Good book by a former Freemason. When you go to page, I'm sorry, what page is this? Page 507. This is a source. What do you see, Tim? What do you see this guy throwing up? The sign of admiration, the same sign that Noble Drew Ali throws up, where there's a whole bunch of Moors behind him, and he's throwing up the Masonic sign of admiration. Hold on. Watch it. And while he's doing that, he's throwing in, he wears a Masonic sash. See this guy here? You don't see Noble Drew Ali wearing the Masonic sash? You know. So if Suleiman Muhammad was a Mason and he taught Timothy Drew, because Timothy Drew was teaching Freemasonry, and you know he was because he was doing the sign of admiration with his hands like that, and he put his hand like this over the heart, which is called the hidden hand. Stop, sir. We have your book, sir. Stop. Second off, all this Kaballah, wait, real quick, because that's how I proved it. That guy was a 92nd. First off, there is no 93 degrees of Masonry, right? But this guy, they always, listen, Moors don't even agree with each other. This is why it's dead, okay? They don't even agree with each other. You clearly see Timothy Drew throwing up Masonic hand signs and wearing the Masonic sash. You clearly see him. He started a thing called the Canaanite Temple. When you get the seven circle Quran, what does Timothy Drew call our people? Canaanites. Okay, so this is the same thing he got from that guy Suleiman Muhammad, who was an Arab. We need to stop the foolishness. You can even go to Madame Blavatsky herself too. Also starts talking about how the Moors and all of them are into witchcraft and sorcery, blah 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 blah. Whatever, right? But real quick, we're trying to be long-winded. Hold on, because just some points that he brought up that I need to get. Give me a second. Okay. He says he said that Osiris is a blah 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 blah. No, listen. Osiris was the god of agriculture in ancient Kemet. Just like his brother. No, ain't no blah blah blah. Learn something, Zion. That's why you're over here wearing a yarmulke. You're supposed to be a Rasta. Anyway, Osiris was the god of agriculture in Egypt. Okay. Just like his brother Set was the god of famine and drought. Okay, they had nothing to do with the people. The common people loved Osiris because only the pharaoh was allowed in the afterlife. So the common people loved Osiris. So because they got the chance to go into the afterlife through him. Kemetian tried to say, what do you say? The Osiris has something to do with the people. No, bro, he had to do with agriculture, the Nile, planting, this, that, and the other. Just like his brother on the flip side had to do with famine and drought. Hold on, I'm almost done.
All right, respectfully, Judah.
Wait, hold on, brother. I'm almost done, bro. I'm almost done. Hold on, brother. I'm almost done. I'm almost done, bro.
I don't let you go on.
Hold up, Kemetian, give him another minute. He almost done.
Come on, man.
Give him a minute. Yeah, Judah.
I know it hurts. I know it hurts, bro. I told you I'm a master. I'm a third degree. Look, he mad. I told you. That's why he runs from me. I'm a third degree Israelite.
Go ahead.
All that more science and Freemasonry is false. Watch this. He said that Enoch is Tahuti. Tahuti is the god of writing and magic in Kemet. Enoch is the quote unquote, I'm gonna use the word Hebrew, is kanakab, which means initiation or to be trained or skilled, right? In astronomy, mathematics, and science, not in witchcraft and sorcery and all this other kind of foolishness. No, it's not Tahuti. That's another one. Hold on. He said that hold on. He said Kaballah. Now you know you're wrong on this, brother. First off, the word ka in quote unquote Hebrew means to be like in comparison or to be with. The word ba means to come or to go. The word la means to come or to go. He's taken the word quabal. Quabal means direction, and it also means to receive. Like if I was to receive a teaching, it would be quabal. Or you can find this in Arabic where they say the qibla, which means direction. He tried to use quabal, which means to receive or direction, and make it seem like it was like some ancient Kemetic word, Kaballah. Bro, stop. You made that up. You freestyling. Hold on. He said that Hiram Abiff has something to do with Egypt. I do agree with that. He didn't lie about that. Hold on. He didn't lie about that because you can find their writings. Hiram Abiff is Osiris and he's Jesus. So he wasn't wrong about that. But none of that has nothing to do with the people. They were worshiping outside. I'm almost done. The ancient Egyptians, just like their Hindu counterparts, believed the neters were real. That's why the priests came in, cleaned the statues, fed them food, and gave them drink. Well, they actually ate the food and drink, but they really believed they were real. You came in talking about they were principles. Okay, even if they were principles, yeah, you can kind of say that because you can find that in Hinduism, you can find that in other religions, or whatever, right? A principle. But they believe these neters were real. And go ahead, brother. That's all I gotta say.
Bro,
all right.
They got a real bad problem with comprehension, bro. Cause everything they saying ain't got nothing to do with what I was talking about. He talking about masonry, bro. I'm not a mason, and that's your problem. You keep talking about debating me on degrees of Freemasonry, bro. If anybody know me, to know I'm not a mason, bro. You feel me? With all due respect to Masons.
Yes, you are.
So your argument is against Masons. You feel me? Science and masonry is two different things, bro.
No, they're not.
Look.
No, they're not.
Bro.
Let him talk, Judah. Let him talk.
While I'm speaking.
I was muted. I'm sorry.
So now, let me share my screen real quick. I asked him to show me that.
Judah, man, you're about to walk on glass barefooted.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali teacher. I asked him to show me. I'm the one that put this information out here that most of y'all know, and some of y'all don't know. I got sources I ain't put out here yet because I'm writing books. But let me show you something. This is in my government website in the Lost Tribes of Ali. This been up over about 15 years now. The same information. Look, the picture he had. It says these posts are not to deny or cover up Dr. Suleiman's affiliation with the Moors, yet it is to bring clarity to his role as co-founder. So Suleiman was a co-founder of the Canaanite temple. He wasn't the founder of the Canaanite temple. So you got that wrong. It is obvious that Suleiman had his own agenda as well. And I'm going to show you what his agenda was. It wasn't teaching no Canaanite teachings. It wasn't teaching no Moorish teachings. You cannot find no source where Suleiman taught the teachings that Prophet Noble Drew Ali teach today, or that he taught anything in the Canaanite temple. We must not forget that our holy prophet departed from the old Canaanite temple due to constant opposition and confusion. He left Newark, New Jersey, and went to Chicago in 1922 because he was being challenged by those who were Christians and those who were Masons. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was not a Mason. They don't look for his name on Masonic rolls. So that's another lie that you telling. And what he dressed like come from our ancestors. Ain't got nothing to do with coming from no European masonry, bro. That stuff existed. Even the signs and symbols, all that come from Egypt, bro. The hand being raised up, that's the symbol of Ka. That was demonstrated in Kemet before any Masonic order. Where do you think they got it from? And also, you talking about mixing Islam with Kemeticism. Brother, I'm showing you the origins of all these teachings go back to Kemet, not mixing nothing in. If you pay attention to the way I teach, you'll know that. Now watch this, and I'm finna stand down. So dealing with this guy, the conflict that he had, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, don't let foreign Muslims get on your roster. It was this reason why he said this is no social organization. This Prophet Noble Drew Ali talking. It's this reason why Prophet Noble Drew Ali say he took the cover off of all secret organizations. And he said, basically, last but not least, Asiatic preachers and Masons will be the last to come home. He said they're going to fight him tooth and claw, but they can't win. So if Prophet Noble Drew Ali say he came to take the cover of all secret organizations, that lets you know that he wasn't in the favor of keeping secrets, brother. If he said also that the Asiatic preachers and Masons would be the last to come home, that lets you know, and they were going to fight him tooth and nail, that's his opposition. That was who opposing him. So this stuff about Suleiman, who was a Freemason, Freemasonic person, who was affiliated with Deuce Muhammad Ali, who they say was a part of his order. Marcus Garvey and them, I got meetings with all that right here. I'm the one put that in. This is what Suleiman was about. This is the one you talking about. Converts by Mohammedans. Make special drive among Negroes. It's a converts, not convert. Dr. Hamid Suleiman, native of Arabia, 1943, West 30. It says street in Manhattan, high priest of Mecca, for a number of years has inaugurated a movement for spreading Mohammedanism among the Negroes of the United States. Now, do you know what the movement of Mohammedanism that he was spreading? He wasn't teaching Islam, brother. I'm finna show you what he was teaching. See, this is why y'all got to be careful. A number of Muslim groups have been started. Prophet Noble Drew Ali's group is the one that he helped co-found with the Prophet. And it was more groups that started, particularly in New York, under the name Canaanite Temple. It says there, under their leaderships, the temple is reported and has attracted large membership, and groups of Negro Muslims have imbued with Turkish and Syrian groups throughout the United States. Dr. Suleiman has gathered together these groups with the Turkish and Syrian groups in the country, and they decided to erect a mosque in the northern part of Manhattan Island, right? Under the leadership of Dr. Suleiman, there will be a movement conducted among the Negro people throughout the United States to convert them to Mohammedanism. Now, I'm going to show you what that movement is. Right here. Mohammedan Masonry, brother. He was teaching Freemasonry. Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't teaching Freemasonry. You understand? When they talk about this ex-Egyptian high priest declared there are no true Shriners among either colored or white Americans, he was trying to make them Masons. Prophet Noble Drew Ali and him disagreed upon that aspect. All this is about him teaching Freemasonry, bro, and teaching Masonry. Ain't got nothing to teach with no Canaanite temple. Negro shrine leader, he declines the Egyptian order. And this is one that was known as Caesar R. Blake. Caesar R. Blake was on the what they in Prince Hall Shrine, and they celebrate him because he went against Suleiman, basically. They hold a jubilee and they talk about this because he refused to take a part of Suleiman's demonstration. He was trying to make European Masons and Negro Masons swear upon the beard of Prophet Muhammad. You understand? He wasn't teaching no teachings of more science, bro. So you lying. Look, proposition made to take Negro shrine them into the original Arabic order on the condition that they accept Muhammadan religion. It says in the ancient Egyptian orders of the noble of the mystic shrine and Negroes of America would not accept the offer of Hamed Suleiman of Khartoum of Egypt, or the Shriners Pact, in the Mecca Medina temple. Them Masons that was under the Prince Hall degree saying, no, we ain't going. You see what I'm saying? So he had Europeans and Negroes that he was trying to curb. Here go the meeting right here. Marcus Garvey, all of them in here. Deuce Muhammad, all of them are in the meeting. I got all this stuff right here. I showed all of those who Noble Drew Ali was affiliated and who he wasn't affiliated. That's Nathaniel Johnson that I was telling you about. He was a part of the Canaanite temple when Suleiman was there. He broke off and started the Fahimi temple. You see? Rabbi Matthews was also a part of the teachings of the prophets. So the original Hebrews actually come through Noble Drew Ali. They were known as the Moorish Zionist temple. You see? I don't play, bro. I've been doing this. So, man, get out of here with that nonsense. Suleiman was teaching Western Freemasonry. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was not a Mason. He said it himself. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali and him fell out. That was his opposition. That's why he left New Jersey. So what your proof of it? That's what I'm talking about. You ran your beak and said nothing, and now you're looking crazy. Go ahead.
Sorry, can I speak now?
Hold on, real quick, brother, real quick. Didn't I tell y'all what they do? He sat there in your face and told you the connection between Suleiman Muhammad and Timothy Drew. Timothy Drew was a circus guy. He wasn't learning. He wasn't initiated into no occult nothing until he got initiated by Suleiman Muhammad. Look at their names, like Bay, like Bay and L. Bay L. First off, is the name of the devil, right? See this guy here? What's his name? Kemetian? Let me guess. He was a so-called Negro. What's his name? His name is Sayyid Jamal El-Din Al-Afghani Ud-Din Bey Effendi, right? Don't these Moorish guys talk about this Bay and L, which is the name for Satan?
With all due respect,
why is this guy still talking?
If he wanna, hey, brother, this you keep cutting me off. Show. That's why. Brother. And you diverting from the conversation. Removing from the panel. If you want to debate me on something, debate me. But all right, Judah,
listen.
Judah. That's why I'm removing you, bro.
So you want to get a debate?
Talking stuff ain't got nothing to do with what's talking about. Debate me that I'm a Mason, since you know, and debate that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is a Mason, and prove it. That's why I'm saying get him out. You ain't talking about nothing I'm saying up here, bro. You going into everything. I'm not gonna let you convolute my bill with all that nonsense, because none of it ain't got nothing to do with the ancient Kemetic attestation of Kaballah, Adept science, or pseudo-science fiction. None of it ain't got nothing to do with it. What are you talking about?
All right, rock.
To the topic, I'll let you sit up here and rock.
All right. So,
you got a question for him, Rakufu?
Yes, sir. Kemetian Adept, Imhotep, how you doing?
What's going on?
All right, brother. Yes, sir. The reason the question I had was I did a little, chat GPT to find something out about what you were speaking on, the origin of stuff, like how Kemet would be like the seed of the Arabian and the Hebrew. And I looked it up. Did Phoenicians get their alphabet from Egypt, and did it turn? In turn, Hebrews got their alphabet from Phoenicians, and they say yes, broadly speaking. So when you're dealing with this, these concepts, it's coming from the thought pattern and energy of like Asar. Just imagine him writing, and then later on this dude, and they stand in the same energies. But it always is the beginning, and it's always a final chapter. Yes, sir. That's all. I can follow you.
Facts. But that's why I was saying I ain't got no problem with them brothers rocking, but they ain't sticking to the subject matter. You got one brother going over here trying to make me a Mason, and I ain't never been in the lodge, with all respect to Masons. Like, bro, what do that have to do with the conversation? And what it is building a straw man argument. Okay. You build it up and then you attack the argument to act like you attacking my premise. And none of that got nothing to do with the Kemetic attestation of the Kaballah. Everything I'm showing you is showing you that the principles for Kaballah existed in ancient Kemet before it was created in the 13th century. And that went right over their head. And that's what I'm getting at. I'm trying to get them to stick to the subject matter. Yep. You know what I mean? People got to stop doing that. Not just with me, but stop doing it with anybody that come up. Yeah, we understand you don't like the Moors.
Yeah. It's builders, like you said, just to tear down something that you just built up to know which way to tear it down, but you ain't dealing with nothing that you're dealing with on what you just said. See what I'm saying? You just tore down something you built up, your own straw man.
Right.
So, but now my question was this too.
Right. And then go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say in the chakra systems, right? Okay. You got like, what is it? You got the seven chakras from the base to the crown. I want to hear your understanding on why with Egypt, everywhere you look, except the Roman period, every Egyptian deity or person with the sun emblem is always on the top chakra. Every Christian one is always on the sixth chakra in the shoulder, vein in the face of something. They want to run something. But the natural ability is up here because that takes care of the whole temple. I mean, you like Jordan, you can flow now.
Yes, sir.
You ain't trying to show your face in the sun. Look at me. It's that sixth chakra, that seventh chakra. It's a lot to that. I used to I read a lot of Ra'u Nefer Amen on that. Oh, and Muada Ashby.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Along
that's
with
right. And see, that's what that's the little halo symbol that they have right here.
You already know. That's amazing.
Right.
All right, go ahead,
yeah.
son.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing, brother. They taking everything from the people. All I'm showing them, I showed them every teaching that a tree of life exists in. And I showed them nobody has a doctrine where the tree of life is not mentioned directly or indirectly. But I showed them it all go back to what people call the actuary.
You showed the Narak tree.
Yeah. In every way. I even showed them the 5%. I showed them the Nation of Islam, everybody that took from the tree of life.
Yeah.
And made their own version of it. So my thing was, like I said, attestation means evidence of.
Yeah.
So the evidence, they talking about you made that up. Fool, the Neteru existed before I even existed. That's in Kemetic doctrine. I don't have to get up here and show you a book. The Neteru exists throughout the whole Kemetic.
Fact, Kemetian,
I just give you the evidence.
You're right.
Go ahead, brother.
When you say the word Kemet, that's the short word of the whole word chemistry or Ra opens. The chemistry, the science is. Yeah. So when they try to Egypt that chemistry, that's because of the jealousy in their book. The Hebrews say, here, Hebrew, your God is a jealous. Kemetics is flowing with rhythm. Ain't no jealousy. You gonna see us in the sun. Why you jealous of Ra? I'm gonna leave it alone. But that starts a lot of this stuff we got going on. You may be going up for a dunk. I low bridge you because I'm jealous. It's all kind of stuff. But you got it right, Kemetian. Yeah, yes, sir.
So the thing is, you couldn't have said it better, brother. Like I said, I don't mind a brother coming up here and challenging the information, but challenge the information based on the context of what I presented.
Exactly.
Or if you want to add on. So my thing is the frustration come in when you talk about something that ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. And then I got whole videos.
And you proved the Kemetian. You came and showed he was against being a Mason. Totally honest.
No, you at least said it out of his own mouth.
And then he didn't have nothing to come back with. He couldn't say, okay, I admit, I see what you're saying. It's always come back with, no, you're wrong. I got this. I got that. Man, come on.
Bro, I know the source don't exist because what he don't know, I dug high and low to try to find Prophet Noble Drew Ali being a Mason. I dug for the information, bro, and it ain't there. You understand?
All right.
That's why I know what he talking about.
Close us out, brother. Close us out. Close us out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gratitude, man. Because it's been a long one. And I want to give honors to yourself for letting us be here. Like I said, family, we have no problem with our people coming giving their opinion. What it is they bring forth. But not just on my bills, but anybody bill. Learn how to stick to the subject matter and address the subject matter. When you address the subject matter, you know, and what's being put up here again, the ancient Kemetic attestation, meaning evidence of. Again, I'm showing you that it is evidence of the Kaballah in ancient Kemet. And I showed you that through both trees. I showed you through the cosmic tree and the world tree. I talked about the Nehet and also the Eshed sa.neter, you know, dealing with the company of the nine. I showed you that this structure was there. Get this book too, by the way. This book right here goes into the history and tell you that what they are calling, you know, so-called Hebrew Kaballah, it came from ancient Egypt. It came from Kemet. It already existed in Kemet. You know, I started to put a lot of that in there, but I had so much to present in my presentation. It is what it was. So I'm going to send the PDF to y'all, EgyptianAdept@gmail.com. Just email me. I send you the PDF. And then you go back to this thing if you want to look at the video and see what was being said, family. All respect to Brother Apostle and Judah Nazareth, but y'all got to stick to the subject matter because this was evidently over y'all head. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't
Right.
you can't deny the fact that the Kaballah is connected to your teaching. That's what they don't like, sir. Because they've been trying to demonize the Kaballah, but it's at the root of their teaching. Even the Muslim can't demonize it. Even the NOI and the 5%, as I showed them, they got a version of the tree of life right in the Supreme Mathematics, 1 through 9. The first 9 born. Come on, man. They better stop it. I thoroughly did the research. That's it, sir.
All right, champ. Thank you, man. Peace and blessings to you, man. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace and love.